Hi, welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings. Am I jittery? Is this the day that the internet is going to crap out? Is this the day that the internet is going to give me two big middle fingers? Wow. We're going to find out real shortly now, aren't we? Again, I wonder if it's because I have other things up. So let's just get rid of some stuff because we don't need everything up right now, do we? So anyway, it's kind of a big night, but this is my regular night. So I know there's a lot of other people streaming right now. They're only going to talk to Haslab. We got to talk some other stuff. If you saw the thumbnail, you know everything that we got to get into. So anyway, let's just start talking about some of the stuff that we got going so quickly. Hope everyone's doing wonderful. I hope if everyone wanted a Haslab, you were able to back it, or you will be able to. You have like 43 days. All right. So if you want to sell some stuff off, you can sell some stuff off or do whatever you need to do. I know that some of people are, I know some people don't think you should sell toys to buy something else, and I fully understand that. But anyway, how'd you guys like the intro? I just kind of been playing around with it. Just kind of give people a little bit of time to come in before. But I got this Haslab thing up, and I don't know how well everything's going to look. So anyway. All right, so let's get over a couple things just to begin with. This has been a big week for me when it comes to being on YouTube. So if you missed me on yesterday morning, Sunday at like 7 a.m., I was on with Frostbite's Retro. There is a link to it in the description. Go watch it. Give those guys, the Australian guys, they got me up. They stayed up late, and we had a good conversation. And it's always fun to hear how things went over there in Australia. And then I got today, obviously, big day. Starting this Thursday, every other week. So we do the Monday night. I'm sorry, it was Monday night. The Punks on Film every other Thursday. Well, the opposite Thursdays, I'm going to be talking with someone from the community. And when I mean community, I mean my community. Instagram, YouTube, not always someone that's going to be in the chat, but just getting to know people. Because I've mentioned before, I don't know if everyone is into, I'm always wondering who's going on, who is in the chat. Who they actually are. So this Thursday, we're going to start it off with Allison Troy. She's not here right now. She said she had to run and do something, but she'll be back in a little bit. So 10 p.m. this Thursday, that's Eastern Standard Time. Check it out. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a nice interview, just getting to know the people that are in this community. I'm going to give back to you guys. I don't want to have, I don't want to just have different YouTube creators on because it's going to bump my, my views, or have, different people in the toy community that are in the business. I want to give back to this community. And then Friday, right here, Payne's Toy Samples. There is a link to his page right now in the description, but not a link to the live stream. But I'm going to be on his show 9:35 on Friday. And then I'm going to shut off YouTube and not watch it till Sunday night when Geek Dad Life comes on. All right, so quickly, let's see who's in the chat right now. We have Cobra La. He's been waiting for quite some time. PNC. He's always someone fun to talk to. We got Anthony Romo, Tony Romo. I said hi to Payne's Toy Samples. We have a Cobra Commander. Everything is moving extremely slow. Of course it is. Why? Because I mostly talk GI Joe, and guess what? It's the Haslab. And Ronnie Trickshot, he was one of the people that I was talking to yesterday morning. So again, check them out. Again, link in the description. David R. is here. We have Crash, one of the now Monday Night Toy Enablers, or the Super Toy Enablers, depending on what plan you go with. That's the new membership name. Arthur English, nice to see you. It's always nice to see Arthur. I know you're not here all that much, or at least you're not, always chatting here. So I love seeing some new faces, some new voices. We got Matthew Matson, the moderator. What he says goes. So if you're getting out of line, he's gonna talk to you. Eric Thurman here. We got Digital Diarrhea, another one of the channel members. Thank you very much. And then, ooh, is that Michael Frenchie? Nice to see you. Let's see what you got here to say. Bobby Vala will make a far superior vehicle than Hasbro will ever make. He probably will. He probably will. There is no doubt about that. I will hold my breath. And James Lucas. James Lucas, nice to see you. And Astrodamus. All right, so we got a pretty big group here. Listen, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, hit the subscribe button. We're right close to hitting 2,100. I'd love to just hit that. It's just pretty cool. I don't know. It's just an ego boost. It's just pat yourself on the back. And Johnny Reno. All right, so I'm going on. Listen, there was no topic today because we got the Haslab, but there's a lot of toy news. So I know a lot of people are watching some other YouTubers right now. But hey, we're going to be here to the end. And we're going to really get into the Haslab. There's a lot of things to talk. Let's see, look, Haslab and then future Haslab. There was someone that did a video before that. His take came out that said he thought it was going to be a dragonfly, that he thought those were propellers going. That video is still on YouTube. I don't delete stuff like some other guy that we're also going to talk about in a little bit. But I said that. And you know what? On Instagram, even Lenny liked when I said, I think it's going to be the dragonfly. So anyway, we'll kind of get into it really quick. Now, these are, I didn't pick up all this stuff. Again, I was reviewing stuff. Listen, I'm very honest about everything. I do not purchase everything that I review. I have a buddy that will lend me stuff. So I do review stuff that I don't own, but I get my hands on it. I give you an idea of how I feel that it is. So quickly, here's just some shots. The Gridiron Recon, kind of expensive. It looks really nice. But unfortunately, in many ways, you do have the Haslab coming out, not the Haslab. Hasbro's coming out with some jetpacks for the steel core. So with that said, if you really love Gridiron, you know, this is something you might want to pick up. Here's the Elite Operator set. I think this thing will go really, really good with your Mezco Destro. A lot of people mention how it would probably go really good with Dr. Mindbender, probably because the silver rubs off. His cape and everything was definitely rubbing off. So there's just a couple things. And again, it is nice detail. There's no doubt about it. Gridiron does put some pretty nice details in it. I did have a few complaints about it. I'm sorry, Tony. But I got to be honest with everything, right? That's what people want to hear. And then I got Rock and Rollin'. I got to say, this figure is really good. Let's remove this really quick. This figure is really good. The plastic feels much better. I'm going to put it on with something maybe like a Valiverse that the plastic is pretty close to standard. Hands pop off really easily. It also does have a thin peg. Way different than the Retro Storm Shadow, who has a thicker peg. I don't know why. But the helmet is nice and pliable. And anyone that is wondering, no, I have not found my O-ring roadblock. And yes, it is driving me absolutely nuts. But the figure is really good. The face sculpt is absolutely wonderful. So I gotta say, I'm really happy with what it says. And Michael Frenchie says, Gridiron costs too much and they should be half the price. I tend to agree with you. I do agree with you. I'm going to send that over to the guru, Scott, and see what he thinks. He'll probably be able to explain to me why they can keep their prices up. Maybe we can have a debate because everyone wants a part 2. So anyway, All right, so let's get the stream back up here. So we got rock and roll. Again, I kind of like these pictures. I kind of worked with a little bit of color, trying to move stuff so everything's not in the exact same shot of me shooting it. I realize I am not a great photographer. Okay, so here it is. Thursday with a friend. Again, Punk with Toys presents Thursday with a Friend, starring Allison Troy. I think we're gonna again. I've seen her on stream, so I know that she can carry it. She's very. I really like her energy. I'm already working on the next guest that we're gonna have. So again, if you are interested, shoot me a message over on either Instagram. You can shoot it over at punkwithtoys@gmail.com. I want to give back to you guys. I want people to know who's talking in the chat, who you might even see on my Instagram. There's a lot of people that can't be here. So it's not just those people. And my nemesis comes in. I got to say hi to you. Bees Battleground, Rock and Roll is, as of right now, the classified figure of the year. You know what? I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. I don't think, so much stuff gets jumbled together that it's hard to remember who came out this year, who didn't, but he's a really good figure. His face sculpt is good. And maybe, I think I mentioned on the video, maybe it has to do with beards, and you don't have to have a chiseled chin. Like, you're able just to create a beard and hair. So it looks really, really nice. Again. All right, let's get rid of this. Believe it or not, the first iteration of the PowerPoints that I did, I had to break it up into like 7 different PowerPoints, and then I had to do the PowerPoint presentation for the Haslab, because unfortunately, there was just that much. Unfortunately, a StreamYard will only hold so much. So anyway, again, there is also merchandise. Don't forget, check out the merchandise. I had the whole scene of Storm Shadow and Quick Kick fighting, but for some odd reason, it has not been approved yet, which drives me nuts, because if I would have went with the place that Viper Island went with, they just don't seem to give a shit. All right, so first off, we're going to talk a little Masters of the Universe. I have 31 people. I say Masters of the Universe. I figure that drops by 10 right away. But there is a Mattel Creations dropping tomorrow. Again, if you're here for the GI Joe, listen, we are going to get into the GI Joe, and you know that. But this is my regular stream. I'm not jumping on. This is where you come from Monday. All right? We all know that. BMW Rhino jumps in. Hi here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Lawrence. Thank you. Nice to see you. Again, it is really hard to keep up with. But I see Banditone in here. So I don't want... Hey, listen, I didn't say your name yet. I'm not ignoring you. It was not Storm Shadow and Shang-Chi. I don't know. You may have thought that. I don't know what you're thinking. All right. So I do not know anything about this character. That's being dropped tomorrow, other than that it is one character or $1, and you can make 3 different figures. Now, they were talking about it, I think, yesterday at Geek Dead Life, where they were saying, hey, you know what? Pick up a figure on clearance, a He-Man figure on clearance for like $4, $8, whatever, and you can make, specific figures. So this thing is $35, Mattel Creations. You're going to pay like close to, I think, $6 shipping and handling normally. I'm probably not going to get it because I'm not big into the Masterverse, but I think this is a really good deal. He doesn't have, it's not flocked. He has, it looks like fur actually on his shoulders here. This is everything that he comes with minus the figure. So you can see you have basically an accessory pack with a figure for $35, and then obviously shipping and handling. Now, I think this thing might go pretty fast, faster than that Evil Lynn did. the evil Godlin or God Evilin, whatever it's called. But here's how everything looks. So I think it looks really good. I'm glad they show you all the figures. Like, here's how they all look, but you can't do this all at once because it only comes with $1. But again, I picked up 4 different Masters of the Universe for $4 each. So you can definitely get it. Still a better price than anything Super 7 has ever given us. And there is some Super 7 talk. This thing I think looks pretty cool, to be honest. I've always wondered about the Masters. The way they toe the line between like being mythical in the past, but also very scientific and futuristic. So I think they do a really good job, or else they wouldn't still be around 40 years later. So is anyone else going to be waiting at 12? I know everyone's already spent almost $300 on that Dragonfly. I'm guessing most of you have. Maybe you haven't. I don't know. But here he is. So you can see here the fur. I think Mattel does a wonderful job. They keep their prices down, and I love it. I wish Hasbro did the same thing with the GI Joes, but they seem to at least have a standard price now. So here's with an axe. Now this guy here, he reminds me. We'll see it in 1 second. So not this iteration, but the one with the big head that looks like a gun. Always reminds me of that small red transformer that was a tank. Now, this one looks different. This one looks more like a frog with lasers on it. Cobra La says, no He-Man, just G.I. Joe. Well, that's good. This is going to be a lot of G.I. Joe. Looks like I can see 29, so people dropped off like, oh, no, not Masters of the Universe. That's crazy. It's so popular with some other people, and then I do it, and it's like, all right, guys. Here he is. I mean, again, I think this looks super cool. If I was more into the Masters of the Universe, I would definitely jump all over this. All right. There's more. Don't worry. There's always a little more. Actually, that was everything for the Masters of the Universe. I'm going fast right now, guys. Why am I going so fast? Hold on. Hold on. Oz says, if it comes up, sometimes everything moves so damn slow. So it happens when you do things on your own. Oh, look. It's slowing down. Go figure. So now I'm jittery. I can see over here. I'm just going to talk to myself until I get a good spot again. I don't know why I have a slow spot. All right. Oh, it looks like I'm up again. Okay. So, Oz said, and I wanted to highlight this. Of course, it's not coming up because why would it? Sharks with lasers attached to their heads. Yeah, I see nothing wrong with it. All right, it's better than the stupid teeth that real sharks have when they bite people when you're swimming in their ocean and everything. Okay. So Cobra La says the stream is fine. To me, it looks like it's jittery, so I do apologize. Yeah, you guys got to yell at me. Sometimes you got to talk to me. I'd say shoot me messages, but I'm not paying attention. Sometimes I realize Matthew sent me a message halfway through. All right, so let's get into some Mythic Legions. Now, I do not know any of these names. I'm not even going to try and act like I know their names. I just know that they look pretty damn cool. Now, we will get to the horse, and we'll address the horse when we get to it. Where the hell is that at? All right, so this guy is a nice, a hell of a looking figure. I wish I had the extra money because I would go all in on these. But again, I do like the Mythic Legions, but I'm not going all in. Some of you guys are absolutely crazy. So look at this thing. He's just a big, burly, gigantic sword swinging. Like, this guy is meant to fight Conan. Other than Conan would be a 7-inch figure. And Payne is 100% getting him. Yes, we know Payne. Yes, we know. Here's the back of them. Again, the detail, and I'll mention this again. I know a lot of people have an issue with the articulation, and I was surprised at how limited the articulation is. But the $50 that you're spending, or I think that figure might be in like 70, you are paying for the sculpt, not for the articulation. And when you look at it, when you look at the paint, you look at the articulation, it is amazing. So this is what he comes from, and this shield is pretty badass. I mean, honestly, that thing just looks absolutely amazing. Perceived Velocity has joined. The new Mythic Legion, the All-Star Waves, is going to be very expensive for me. Hey, the new Haslab is going to be very expensive for me. So, Yojo June is going to be very expensive for me. You got to start asking yourself, hey, kids, do we really need to go to Disney this year? And JLS, nice to see you. Check out JLS if you haven't. You will learn so much about GI Joe. All right, so I feel like this is an all-star wave, so I think I've seen this guy before, something at least that looks very similar to him. And Action Figs is in the house. Nice to see you. Yeah, that shield is badass. Like, that thing just looks, I mean, that thing looks absolutely awesome. Right there. I mean, it looks like something you would see not on a ride, but at an amusement park. That's like, you're going to go into some sort of like cave or something. That's, like that's what it's supposed to be. So, all right, give me one. I can't. God bless you people that have the tickers and everything going the whole time. Man, I just can't do it. I can't stand looking at the ticker the whole time. So when Allison gets in, I'm sure she'll let everyone know. Yes. A giant dragonfly is greater than a Disney trip. Yes, I will screenshot this and I will let my kids know that. Oh man. So here's the back of them. Again, everything looks absolutely amazing. Here's everything that he comes with. And again, you're paying for the sculpt. That's just how it goes. Matthew, this is for you. The skeletons. I think the skeleton looks awesome. Probably looks better than any Red Skull that Legends has made. So you can definitely do that with him if you're a customizer. There's the back of him. Here's everything that he comes with. Now he comes with what looks like some sort of spider, and spiders do not come in my house. So I won't be getting this guy for sure. So here's the horse. Now this was brought up on Ostradamus. I heard them talking. Ostradamus, he does a show on Saturdays. I was sitting here doing this whole slideshow, and here they're going through all of this stuff while I was doing the slideshow. And you know what really sucks is that I see other people like him able to just go to websites and pull it off. And when I do that, everything just stops. So I got to do the slideshow and I spend more time. But I guess they changed the cross because someone pointed out that he could be related to Hooded Cobra Commander. I would not have ever thought of that, but I'm also not hanging out with guys that wear hoods, nor is Hooded Cobra Commander, to be honest. But the horse looks absolutely awesome. But they quickly had a new blankets on him. Like, it was really, really quick. So, again, I've seen these. I haven't held any, but they look amazing. Matthew's always telling me I need to get the one for the figure that I have. Here's everything that he comes with. Of course, this cross will be gone. And I was doing this while they were talking about it. I'm like, I'm not doing any more. I'm not going back and making any more pictures. All right. Ooh, what is that? JL says Cobra Commander on a war horse sounds pretty awesome. Awesome stuff. But that 4-inch Cobra Commander with the red hood riding on this thing, oof, that would look pretty sweet. Of course, he'd be a 4-inch on a 6-inch, and it would look weird, but you get the idea. On the cartoon, Cobra Commander would totally lose control of the horse, and he'd fall off, and Destro and the Baroness and all them would be making fun of him. So this guy was clearly meant to go on that horse. And did they change? I would assume they must have changed his design too, to lose the cross. Now, if you put a hood on him, I could definitely see where people might think that he is part of a specific hate group that we will not talk about. But I think this figure looks awesome. I really, really do. And again, they're soft goods. Just looking at it, they integrate so well with what they're doing. So here's everything that he comes with. So this guy, in my opinion, is definitely a deal. What they need to do is they need to make an Ash from Army of Darkness to go in this line, because that would be awesome. That's what they need. You hear me, Four Horsemen Studio? That's what you need. So, all right, let's go to the next one. I am moving pretty quickly. Only half hour, but we're gonna get into so much stuff. Okay, move this from the studio. All right. So let's add to the stream here. It sounds like some of you guys are definitely all in on this. Okay, so Payne says there's no change in that. Okay. That's weird. I mean, I understand, I understand what they're... I mean, again, in this political climate, I understand. It sucks that that's what people think. So is this... I don't know what he is. A goblin and orc or something like that. I don't know. He looks cool. And I do like the colors. Here's a stance. And again, this is about the best articulation you're going to get out of them. But these things look really nice. He's an orc. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Payne. I can tell you about GI Joe, but when it comes to Mythic Legions, I can't. Cobra Lad, don't bring us all down. And I don't know if I should say I'm sorry, or if I should say congratulations. Listen, in 2 years, you'll be happier than hell. So here's everything that it comes with. Sorry, I probably should have highlighted that. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, dude. I don't mean. I shouldn't laugh at you either. All right, so this guy kind of has wings. I feel like wings on his head. I'd say I'm not a huge fan of this, but you don't bring it down every couple weeks. I mean, you come in as Cobra Law. Nah, dude, you don't bring it down. You weren't the guy that came in and talked about how his mom was dead, are you? I don't think the guy ever came back. I felt really bad. Like it wasn't you, was it? If it was, I apologize. Cobra, hey, dude, hey, don't worry about it. No big deal. No big deal, man. Listen, I was there, and sometimes you gotta bitch about it. Don't worry about it. Okay? Oh, that was you. Okay, I apologize. Listen, I lost my mom when I was young, so we're gonna have a chat later, Cobra Law. Now, especially now that I know who you are on Facebook, we're gonna have a chat. All right, not tonight though, because I got a long time. I got to work in the morning. This guy pretty cool. I just don't like these colors. It's like yellow on a car. It looks good on an exotic. All right, so Matthew, you might be able to get me into some skeletons with this one, because this guy just looks really cool. How he can grow more facial hair than I can, and he has no skin. That's bothersome, but hey, everyone can almost grow more facial hair than me. But I think this thing looks pretty badass. There's no doubt about it. I think this might be one when I see it in the store that I'll definitely jump on and grab. Oh, Payne says it's a pass. Wow. I don't think I've ever heard Payne pass on anything. I just thought like he walked by a toy and he just. I like this one too. I just think this looks really good. This to me, this is straight, especially everything that you're seeing. That is straight out of Army of Darkness. I mean, their teeth are chattering. He's trying to get out of there. Like, I need a Bruce Campbell done from Mythic Legion, and I will buy that one. And I have a bunch of the NECA ones. Yeah, see? JLS, this looks like a Deadeye. That's right, man. And I'm sure Bruce Campbell will allow to use his likeness. So a bunch of hands. Well, this guy does come with a bunch of different stuff. So I like the fact that they're giving 2 different heads so you can have different ones. A whole bunch of different ones, and not everything looks the exact same. There's another skeleton that can grow more facial hair than me. Now I'm just getting depressed. Now I'm just getting depressed, man. Damn skeletons have all this facial hair. It takes me like, I don't know, 5-6 weeks to grow this. But then I'm eating pizza and it drives me nuts. I don't know how people with beards do many. But this guy looks cool. He looks like he was pretty important at some point. I'm sure Matthew's going to be all on this one. And I have to say, Oz and all you guys, thank you very much, because you brought this guy up and somehow I completely missed him when I was putting him in, when I was doing the whole slideshow. I completely missed this one, and this is probably my favorite figure. I think the face looks really nice, but it is that accessory right there. That flame effect, or whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but the blue just pops. And it's not just that, it's also the blue on the figure. I think this thing just absolutely pops. Come on, sure you can. You can put them on top of some of the 3D printed stuff that you don't have room for. And Greg, I'm going to have to start saying no to some of these 3D printed stuff, especially now after backing that Dragonfly. We're going to have to start saying no, because I don't have a bigger house. But this figure, this is one that I definitely will be getting as long as funds are available. But look at everything. I mean, just that blue just has such a sweet pop to it. But I do have to ask, where these blue coils, where are they at? Maybe I did not save all the pictures. So, and then they have another head pack, which if you're into the skeletons and different things like this, really cool. I think what they're doing with the head packs is really good. This is what GI Joe needs to do, especially now that they have the grunt coming out, they got the steel cores coming out. This is what they definitely need to do, so you can have an army of, GI Joes and everything, without having to, buy an extra figure or find one in your Marvel Legends or your Valiverse figures, because most of them fit pretty well with it. So, all right. So, we're going to get on to the next topic. This is a short topic, and this goes out to my friends at Super 7. So, if you like Super 7 and you like the reaction, well, there's not much that I can say. But why do we puke? And it is because of this. I've heard Articulated Chad talk about how the Tiger Force, Duke, and Ram cycle made him puke, but this is puke. God, this looks so awful. But they're there. If you want this, the Baroness, the colors actually don't look that bad. Why the Destro? Oh, wait, I know why. Because Super 7 just has to rip you off for $20 with some really, really bad paint. And so they did. Again, Tiger Force Snake Eyes makes no sense whatsoever. I know that he has been other colors besides black, but he's never been this. And for good reason. Because he looks stupid. I would say, I'm sure some people will buy it, but we know that we will see these sitting over. Oh my gosh. We will see these at Target. Oh my God, JLS. Triumph the Insult Dog would say, these are great for me to poop on. Oh man, Triumph the dog was so awesome. Yeah, I need to get a damn soundboard. And that's one of the sounds that I want. I'll forget it by the time I finally get a soundboard. But yeah, like again, I understand if you're going to do specific figures that Hasbro did, but man, some of these just look absolutely awful. And here's the Trooper. If you want another Trooper, again, I don't know. Again, I do have some of these. Sometimes they're good for background figures. If there's a figure that's never been produced in 4-inch form and you want it, so all right. So let's get into Valiverse. So some of you might get upset. Some of you might agree. I have supported Valiverse. I buy the figures. I'm not all in anymore. But again, people say, why would you bash on it if you're buying it? Well, I just read through the bullshit. So you can thank everyone that bitched about this, because now this was something that was put up there. So I don't want anyone to say, oh, well, you're just making that up. Someone had asked if you went to Joe Fest and brought your action points for the fake Chuckles, do I have to pay the $8 shipping? He said yes. This is what was said. This is from Valiverse. Yes, the shipping is also for the handling fee for our employees processing the points. I think that's bullshit. I've already discussed, I think, enough how I think that this should have been a free figure. You're paying $350. I'm sorry, $320 to have enough points to get this figure, which is a repaint. Not even a new head sculpt. Some new face paint, or some new paint on the face, but not even new head sculpt. I think this should have been the 20 action points, and then the cost of shipping, because you shouldn't lose out on shipping. But it's supposed to be a thank you, right? But to charge $15 for the figure. Now he did change it. Now if you're at Joe Fest, you can come in there and I guess have your points, $15. You don't have to pay. Now I actually don't think this figure looks bad, but let's be honest, it's Chuckles. And I'm finally going to address something. I really have watched it. And Michael Frenchie says, Too many people are being mean to Bobby. He saved the toy industry, and everyone knows it. I'm 100% with you, Mikey. You know, there comes a point that you realize you're making a mark, and I realize it right now. So anyway, if you want this figure, you gotta have 20 action force points. That's $320. You gotta send it in for $25. So 23 bucks, and then you can get this figure. He only comes with a pistol and his hands, so you're not even getting a full figure. It's basically you're buying an army builder. I'm sorry, I can't make this shit up. And I know he addressed it that, you know, it's nothing like Chuckles. Chuckles has a blue shirt. Yeah, that's blue right there. But the Hawaiian shirt, yeah, we know it's different. This is the vest that came with Carrig and one of the Sergeant Slaughters. Again, it doesn't look bad, but just be real. Here's his file card again. I said that this is the fake Airborne acting as the fake Chuckles. So I ripped this from one of the GI Joe sites, and again, this kind of made me laugh. Hey, can I copy your homework? Sure. Just make sure it looks, just make it look different so that it doesn't look like you just copied it. Sure thing. And again, I understand people can sit there and say, you know, Hawaiian shirts, but come on. All right. So this is my issue. And listen, I think that Special Deployment series, the first one that they did, perfect figures. Absolute. Blowback is a perfect figure. Yes, it's Sergeant's jacket and Carrie's. So he makes really good figures. Unfortunately, my issue is I have become tired of the same repaints. And don't get me wrong, I buy Mode 2. I buy GI Joe. Repaints are part of, but we get all the same body armor or overlays, different things like that. But I keep hearing people talk about how he's so original. This is an original product. And this is where I just, listen, I don't care. Thanos was a copy off of Darkseid. Marvel has been copying off DC for years. There's nothing wrong with it. My issue is that so many people say that they don't. So first off, he took the Action Force. Well, we know that lapsed. He bought it. So right off the bat, you're already taking someone else's name. So here, I did not do this. This was something, this was done a while back. So here are just some of the things. Now, I agree with some of them I don't agree with. But someone put a list of things that his figures look almost identical to some other figures. I don't know if I really agree with the Cobra Law. Cobra Law, you're the expert. You should tell me. These Swarm figures down here, you can kind of see the way that it looks. So this DC Universe here, this is a ripoff. And you'll see it right here. Like, honestly, it is the exact same logo. I mean, it looks identical. Let's see. Michael Frenchy says he's not Giggles or Chuckles. Bobby said it was an homage to James Bond. Bobby does not copy anyone or original. Yes, that was the other thing. So if he didn't copy Chuckles, he was copying James Bond. Again, there is nothing wrong with it. Just people got to stop telling me and everyone else that it's so original and that these figures are great. I've never seen Steak Juice here, so I got to read his comment. I'd rather just buy an undercover Condor for full price without dealing with sending in points. I agree with you. And that's why, like, again, the whole thing is, you know, that should, like, that whole points thing, it should be like, hey, you know what? This is a free figure. You don't have to be cutting shipping because you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. He shouldn't have to cover the shipping. The figure, that's supposed to be a thank you, not a hey. Here, I'm going to sell you when it costs. All right. This was a very long picture. All right, so here you have. Now, I never really saw the Lady J. This was the first time that I had seen it. I kind of see where people are saying that the Steel Brigade. Again, Steel Brigade looks different than Steel Brigade, but he bought the name, and I understand why he bought the name because he loves it. But let's be honest. Don't tell me you're original, that everything's original when you're literally using names that were created by Hasbro for a GI Joe. You have Sarge. Now, we all know Sarge even talked about it. He signed a deal with Valiverse after he signed with GI Joe to do another figure. But Bobby knew that he could get it out faster. So he did. And then obviously he made this for Gung Ho, knowing that he could kind of chime in on it. Now, I think that the Gung Ho thing here, that was done so you can make your Gung Ho into looking more like Gung Ho. Of course, this vest was so small that it did not fit him. And that's because Gung Ho is big. Now, I don't know who this figure is here. That looks like Condor, but people have seen Airborne. The other thing that people don't realize is that I believe in Brazil, Airborne's name was Condor. And that's something that someone would have worked at Marvel, or not at Marvel, at Hasbro. Hey, Chaz, it is nice to see you. Stick around because we're about to get to your buddy really, really soon. The rollout looking like Roadblock. I mean, it's a black figure. I guess you could say that about anyone like that. So I don't really see that. He's not the heavy machine gunner. Now, this Pandora, we all know she reminds us of Zarana. But this is a steel, or the corpse. The core, sorry. I didn't realize till someone sent me the pictures of this that it looks identical. Like, again, I'm just saying, I don't care that you copy stuff. People just got to stop feeding me the bullshit. The Firefly, we know this true builder was made to look like Firefly. So, it was just a repaint. But again, it is very easy with the Balaclava, or whatever it was, however it's pronounced. But then the design of it, and you even have, the 3 POA guys talking how this is the best Firefly. Maybe it is. It won't be when Mezco comes out, that's for sure. And let's just say hi to Charlock. Nice to see you. And Ellen he's spent time. Respect to Valiverse. I love the accessories. Valiverse characters, on the other hand, sorry, Bobby. You're an LA Hammer. You make great toys, though. Again, I don't have a problem with it. He listens. He fixes the toys when there's an issue. And again, it's a lot easier for him to speak to his to the factories to get stuff fixed, rather than if you're talking to Lenny, and Lenny has all the people he needs to go above to get it taken care of. And then obviously the action force, and we know the action points. And then there's these ones here, and again, these are just masks. Again, I didn't put these together, but then the ones on the bottom with Keurig and this figure, who I really do like. The Garrison Cavalry. I got a couple of them. They look really, really nice. All right, but that's it. Again, I collect it, but there comes a time that you just kind of have to say, hey, you know what? Listen, we've talked about this more than enough. People constantly tell me how original things are. It's not. No one is really original. The originality has gone away. Michael Frenchie's been the one that has been all over it, telling us how original Lions of the Sun is. And then I'm sorry, but that Pandora issue was a 10. Bobby understands the lesbian. We're not going there. We're not going there. I gotta read these things, I guess, before All right. So that's it. I did not order any of the special deployment series, but if you want a Condor, if you want Condor, Bone Crusher, or Bone Collector, I don't know. And then Keurig, you can pick them up. The other thing was, we got to talk about the Great Crash. So it's Great Vala Site Crash. I specifically, in the thumbnail, did not put the Great Vala Crash because I know people would jump on me saying that I'm saying that they're crashing and they're going down. Listen, the site crashed. It was fucking hilarious. I know I've heard that, he said, hey, I'm in people's heads and, listen, this shit happens. But you went on Facebook, you said there was an issue, and then you turned off the comments. Listen, if Hasbro did that, you would have fucking bashed them. So just don't be a hypocrite. That's all that I'm asking. I would have come out if it was me. Hey, we had issues, right? We completely had issues here, right? Stream was shitty. I was jittery. Everyone made fun of me. It happens. I would have come out and said, hey, you know what? Site's down. This is an issue right now. We're getting it taken care of. Let the comments begin. And I would have left them open because you know what? It would have been hilarious. But we don't do that. If it was Hasbro, we would have bashed them. But anyway, I really went down a road I said I wouldn't ever do, but I just cannot listen to it. But the Great Vala Crash, there were some other things that kind of came up. I'm not even going to show it. Grape 0001. I have never seen you. Thank you for joining. I like seeing some new faces on here. That's definitely what we need. So there were some things that popped up when the crash was happening on the first day of the week when it crashed. And that was, there were specific things showing how many units were in stock. And by quickly doing a quick count of the units that were in stock, let's just say that all the units that he was purchasing, there's going to be more HISS drivers than probably any figure that he makes. That's just my opinion from what I can see. Any one figure. And the other thing that that made me laugh was it showed the Desert Trooper and the Desert Trooper and the Desert uniform, accessory pack. Amazingly, they were almost side by side. Like, again, because you're going to make extra money. Instead of just giving one box with that whole pack together and saving people the $4. So, yeah. Quickly, Ray Paz here says, set it off here for you two. Dragonfly fun for... Thank you. Thank you. You are one of the toy enablers, and I do appreciate it. We will be getting in the Dragonfly, I promise you. I know everyone else is talking about it right now. All right, so that's all that I have to say about the Valiverse world. All right, so now I'm going to get into something. I've talked about this before. Said I didn't want to do drama. I try not to go and bash other YouTubers. As YouTubers, I don't really care to watch. I just don't talk about them. I don't watch them. But there is one that has been a thorn in all the Joe side, and I've mentioned why I have a problem with him. And he gives a bad name to the community. There's a lot of Joe collectors that are not toy collectors. What they are the Joe collectors, not toy collectors. So they don't know. So they find his channel, and they start buying the stuff, buying things that he's saying. Then he starts ripping off content from other people. And now he's going by the notorious Viper Island. Listen, you're a douchebag. And I have shown how I believe he bought subscribers, because you don't go from, a stagnant of nothing to all of a sudden 2,900, 2,100, 1,900, 900, and then flatline again. If I put the Predator movie on here, people may watch it, but not everyone's going to subscribe. So he bought subscribers. There's no doubt about it. But this was sent to me by the artist Shark. And I forget who it was that put it out there. So let's just get into Viper Island. And so I put the Hamburglar on here because this is exactly what he fucking did. Now, the reason why this really, really bothers me the most is because it's one thing to steal people's content on YouTube, and yeah, you're going to profit a little bit from it. But this is stealing someone's intellectual property and just flat out. Now, this logo up here of Punkwood Toys, the new one, that is from Vision Streetwear. But I am not selling the Vision Streetwear logo as my own. So, this is the USS Flag shirt that he is selling. And this is on TeePublic. I bought stuff from TeePublic for my son. Find Red Hood stuff and different things like that. You can see he's got this little Viper Island logo. Now, you know that this is crossing the line if I'm going to defend Super 7. But this is just a Super 7 shirt. And this is what it was brought up, right? So Super 7 makes this shirt. He removed their logo, and the guy pointed in the video that over here on the other side, underneath the USS, well, you can see his shitty cropping. He didn't even get rid of everything. So he's taking Super 7's logo and putting it on. Now, he's already stole stuff from 3D Joe's and pretty much said, when Carson, said, hey, just give us some credit, he pretty much said, fuck you. Like, how dare you? So he steals this, and he is selling this on TeePublic. This one here, I think we all remember this. This was part of the Hasbro Pulse stream. This is the Cobra Commander head. He literally ripped it off and put his logo on it. Now, you cannot get much lower than that. Yeah, he designed it on Photoshop. Exactly. Yeah, what Chaz says. He designed it on Photoshop. So imagine, like, he's taking stuff, he's ripping it off of Hasbro Pulse site, and he's selling it. Oh, but there's more. You guys have probably seen this picture, right? You've probably seen this. The only difference here is that he put a different background there. And then he moved scrap iron over so he's behind his missiles. And how do I know that? Well, look. That looks kind of like the exact same fucking picture now, doesn't it? Action Fig says, TeePublic has a place that you can make an official complaint and they will close the shirt shop down. You agree it's your original art when you sign up with TeePublic. Yeah, well, Super 7 saw the guy's video and made a comment. It was sent to me by Chaz, where he said, hey, we'll see if we can find you a large. The video has been very interesting. So here's this Dr. Mindbender. Maybe you guys remember the Dr. Mindbender. It's kind of odd to think that someone would be able to get him twirling his mustache so perfectly. It almost looks like something that we saw on the Hasbro Pulse page. Holy shit. It's the same damn Mindbender. It's amazing how he was able to get a figure that he probably doesn't even have and get it in the exact same pose. But he put a different background on it. So, I don't really want to get in drama, especially against other toy YouTubers. I don't consider him a toy YouTuber. He's a piece of shit. The stuff that he's done, he takes a Toy Kind of Mood stuff, literally crops them out. Hey, a matter of fact, hey Travis, where the fuck are you? You're supposed to be here, right? You can at least be in the comments. Anyway, that was for you. If you, Tony. Maybe he's getting stream ready for the full force. I don't know. Anyway, so, He's just stealing people's shit. Again, if you don't know what happened to Full Force, I'm not Full Force, A Toy Kind of Mood, is they did an interview with Emily and Lenny last year at San Diego Comic-Con, and he said they were, his correspondents were talking to him, and he took that, didn't give A Toy Kind of Mood any type of credit, and then literally cropped out the two guys from A Toy Kind of Mood, so it was just focused on Emily and Lenny. Like, can you be more of a piece of shit? I mean, you can, because he steals other property. So I'm going to throw this up here really quick. So this is on TeePublic. We know he doesn't have this. We know that he doesn't have this Cobra Commander. You know what? This flag point, this type of stuff doesn't bother me. This is the type of stuff that, we do in the community. And as a skateboarder, I've watched them do graphics like this all the time. This type of stuff doesn't really bother me. It is very generic, right? That doesn't bother me. This roadblock here, we've all seen that before. The survival is literally just a complete ripoff of Outback. Like, you're not even trying to hide it. Tiger Force Duke up here. It looks like maybe this Crackmaster is. The Dreadnoks 316 doesn't really bother me. Again, that type of stuff, it gets, I don't know why you wouldn't do like Viper Island 316. Oh, wait a minute. Because he's no fucking Stone Cold. And then here's the other stuff. So, listen, the whole purpose of this is I'm not going to sit there and tell anyone who they should and shouldn't watch. There are people that don't like me. I don't care. But you know what? I'm going to say it again. He is bad for the community. He is the Mike Zero of the community. I know I've mentioned that name before. He is the Mike Zero of the community. And he is awful. He lies. Then he deletes stuff. He just wants clicks. And listen, you may not make a lot of money off YouTube, but if you have almost 16,000 subscribers, many that you may have bought, if you're not purchasing any product and you're just constantly putting out BS, then guess what? You're going to make some money. And if you're stealing other people's product and you're selling it on TeePublic, then guess what? You are stealing from someone else. And it's bullshit. And I'm going to leave it at that. So if anyone watches that guy, yeah. Hey, no. You should all go below and click the link and buy some of my merch. It is greatly appreciated, and I appreciate it. And it helps support the channel. Rumor mill is he's going to rebrand your Roman shirt. You know what? Would it shock you? Would it shock you if you all of a sudden saw a picture of Roman and it had Viper Island underneath it? And listen, the guy would do whatever he wants. He lives in Canada. The guy is never going to cross that border. He's never going to show his face at a convention. He sure the hell ain't going to come to Detroit. But listen, I'm just saying, if I can't tell you who you should and shouldn't watch, I'm telling you that he is bad for the community. Roman 316. If I did that, so many people would come up and probably think that it's Roman Reigns 316. I should do it. That'd be an easy shirt to do. Of course, it'd take me four weeks to get my daughter to do it because I can't do that type of stuff. All right. Let's get back to toy talk. Enough with the Viper Island. Again, I don't like going down that road. It's a cheap pop for me, in all honesty. It creates drama, and we know that drama just sells, but Roman Island. Roman Island. You know what, though? I wouldn't want my dog, my wonderful dog, who's laying there, who's actually been really quiet today, associated with him. Now, see, okay, so you know what? See, the USS Roman, I could actually take a picture of the aircraft carrier, a real picture. Wouldn't have to worry about anyone saying that I stole it and make that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Now I'll do it and I'll take credit all for it and say, I thought of this all myself. No one thought of this. All right. So we're getting closer to actually being talking about Hasbro stuff. All right. So as I said, maybe people say that troop builder that is for Valiverse is the best Firefly. And maybe it is. But when this thing comes out, I guarantee you it will not be as good as this. And it shouldn't, because this is $100 and some. But if it's anything like the Destro, whoo-hoo-hoo, I am excited. All right, I know this thing came out last week. I think last Tuesday, right? So it's been a whole week. You guys have had enough time to marinate on it. JT, his intro is enough to piss me off. And I gotta say hi to Supersonic Fighters Kimberlin, aka Jeremy Kimberlin. I love having you here. I know wrestling has a lull if he's here this when he pulls in. I also know all I gotta say is HBK is better than Bret Hart and he shows up. All right, so this Firefly, I don't know if you guys pre-ordered this. I just cannot damn wait for it. Unless they had a Troy, Allison Troy. Roman 316 is biblical or something, right? No, it was John 316. So it was John 316. That's what everyone thinks of. But at the Royal Rumble, after Steve Austin beat Jake the Snake Roberts, he talked about how he comes out here and talks about all his Bible quotes or whatever. And Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass. And that is truly how Austin 316 came. It was something that he threw out there. Those are the best things, when they just throw them out there. When you don't think of something, you just throw it out there. There goes Punk's Disney trip. Dragon Firefly, money bye-bye. I have stuff set aside, you know. And when the toy enablers come in and they start throwing stuff, hey, it all goes to this. It goes to this. It goes to your reviews. I love it. So anyway, this thing looks awesome. I mean, it just looks spectacular. And I do like the classified one. I know we're getting a more retro version. But when you hold the Mezco and you feel how smooth the joints are, the Destro, just the way the soft goods worked, you know, it's marvelous. And the stuff that he comes with is absolutely amazing. So I was happy to finally have one in hand. I want to say, Arthur, I can't pay that price for this Firefly. You know, I understand. Listen, these are toys are, you know, if you have the money, great. If you don't, there's no shame in it. And these are pricey, but man, so wonderful. And they're just going off the Destro. I'm glad they classify on all this. So here's the homage to I can't think of his name. The guy that played Firefly that died. So this is the homage to him. But you just look at this figure and it's just like, woo-hoo-hoo. I absolutely love this. Let's quickly stop and say hi to Palpatine, another channel member. Thank you very much. And then Master Versal, Toy Hunter. Nice to see you. Let's see here. J. Tiago says, Firefly is one of my favorite Cobras, so I'm going to make that one happen. And so if you don't have any, Ray Stevens, thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, if you don't have any, then until you get one in hand, you don't realize. I mean, you do assume that a $100 figure is better than a $25, but when you actually hold one and you mess around with it, you realize just how much better it is. And it should be. And it should be. Like, I mean, I can talk about the Destro all I want. Hey, if you want to look at that classified Destro and go like, this is good enough, I agree. It is well good enough. The classified one is well good enough that you don't really have to worry about it. But he has 2 drones that you can make actually fly, which I think is absolutely awesome. I mean, you just look at the little exhaust that's coming off there. Awesome. I love it. And obviously, his little pad here also controls his remote control car. It's probably like the Vamp Mark II remote control car. They were able to get for like $4. Mafex is greater than Marvel Legends. Well, isn't Mafex like $100 too? So yeah. That's the whole point of it. Last week's show that I talked about the why you shouldn't be comparing specific comparing different lines. All right. So here's the loadout. 3 different heads, a bunch of different hands, and the hands really pop on. Really nice. I will say this. They have a very small peg, and just the way that it pops on, they can fall off pretty easily, but I don't really have to worry about them breaking. They don't feel like they're going to break it off. And then here's like the smoke effects that work with his drones, and then you have this other drone. You got some dynamite here. You got 3 different knives, grenades. I mean, this thing is fully loaded. Let's see here. Matthew says Mafex are 60 if you don't buy the right retail spot. If you don't buy from the right retail. Okay, well. And I want to say hi to Bastion Blacksu. Right? Did I say it right? Nice to see you. Yes, Mezco and Mafex are premium brands. And then the next slide is all his weapons. I really do wish he would have come with the classic green weapon. But he does come with some nice little blast effects. I think they look nice. I've discussed the blast effects that Hasbro gives with the Vipers. I think there's a couple that look decent, but for the most part, they look like trash. When I look at like the Valiverse ones, they're just small little blasts, and I think they work really well. That's how they really should look. I think Hasbro, they're not on the money with theirs. So, all right. Whew. Okay, so we're an hour and 15 minutes into it, and we still have some other stuff to discuss. So some other classified stuff came out. I was expecting a little bit more stuff to be dropped today because other places have been saying that there was rumors that some pre-orders were going to go up. Kind of happy they didn't. We have a whole month that we're going to go through, and that they would show more digital renders. I think we're going to see another, like, I have a feeling they're going to be dropping like 2. So they did show us finally got to see Tiger Force Dusty and Python Patrol Crimson Guard. I had to remove them from the slide because way too much. I had to keep breaking these things down. So we finally got to see the actual Arctic back, which looks absolutely amazing. Super stoked on this. I love the fact that you have the classic head, but then you get this, this new head. So if you want them all to look uniformed, well, you have the uniformed head, the uniform chest piece. The pistol is on the other side, but you have the uniform backpack. It's going to have different accessories and different things like that. Wow, you guys just see now. If I make a Roman 316 shirt, now will you guys want to jump on and pick something up? That's the question. But you guys really got me thinking now. But I don't want people to think I'm I'm stealing from the Viper Island. So here's a closer look. This is our tan sniper. See, there is a scope on it. Someone asked a question. No, Amazon, he is sold out, but he is still on Entertainment Earth. So if you use my code, A Punk with Toys, or actually, if you ever pre-order something to use my code, you cannot use the code because it thinks that you want the 10% off. You have to use the actual address. So it's like ee.toys/apunk, or just go to one of the links and it will link you right to it. So, but it was sold out on Amazon Prime. It actually sold out really quick. I was kind of surprised. So here he is loaded up. The chainsaw is awesome. We're going to get a little bit more. Cobra Law saying the Dragonfly is 80% funded. Have you already funded? Have you already backed it? All right, so people were trying to look and figure out who this was. I'm pretty sure it's Snow Job. Either the digital render has black boots and they didn't expect it to have black boots. They expected it silver. Or it's just the angle of the light. But that's his sniper that he has. So I think it's safe to say that is Snow Job there, not another figure that we haven't seen yet. But who knows? All right, so we've already seen that. So let's get into this. And I gotta say, I never liked the Televiper as an O-ring, but they did a marvelous job, I think. His head no longer looks huge. And this flight pod is amazing. And they have OSHA now, so now they have to have seatbelts just like in their his tank. So here's the box art. Again, I meant to break it down. I meant to look at it. Has anyone found anything in here? Has anyone found anything, any Easter eggs or anything? I haven't looked for any. There must be some sort of Easter egg, considering how big this box is. You would think they'd have to have an Easter egg. The Trouble Bubble, did they have foot pegs before? I don't think it ever had foot pegs. It had, I think, a base underneath it. But it always had the back peg. So yeah, I don't know if it but it does not. So anyway, artwork looks absolutely awesome. That thing looks really cool. Here's everything that you get. So you get 3 different heads. So they are really pushing this to be an army builder. $55, a little pricey to be an army builder, but again, now you would have Trouble Bubbles for multiple different Cobra. These figures, they don't have to be in the Trouble Bubble. They're obviously able to be used in other areas. But, the black and the white head are, the face are the same. Now, they talked about this face. It's not a robotic one. If I remember correctly, it's not a robotic one, but it's more just like a helmet that you would put on, considering you'd probably lose oxygen, considering this is not it's still not the safest vehicle. Even if that's bulletproof glass. And Lenny did make a point that it does show that they've shot down like 3 Sky Strikers, but I'm willing to bet that they lied about it. It also got pointed out. I want to say the Foosh maybe had pointed out. I know Travis talked about it. Where's Travis? Travis, you said you were going to be here. Where are you? It kind of looks like the Cobra helmet, but to me, it looks how the original one looked. I do like the fact that they put these black accents throughout it. He also talked about how the dog bone here is removable. So if you don't want the missiles on it, you can remove it and it doesn't look like, hey, I'm missing something. or if you lose the missiles, I guess. Let's be honest, you're going to lose the dog bones before you lose the missiles. Give me 1 second. I got to get up for one moment. All right. There is something beeping that is driving me nuts right now. So you guys can still hear me. All right. All right, we're back. All right. Oh, so I missed. So Mr. Wonderful and Ted Darklaw. Nice to see you guys. We just jumped up like 10, so someone's stream must have ended. I can only imagine whose it would be. But again, I think this thing looks awesome. No. Okay. So it does have the air mine or whatever it was. I can never figure out what this was on the O-ring. But a matter of fact, if you take this, you can plug it in. I'm sorry. If you take the O-ring one, you can actually take it and plug it into the back. There is a port for it. So technically, the air bomb can fly the trouble bubble himself. Which is pretty cool. But I like that they put some detail into it. And just here's a few other shots. And I gotta say, again, who's ever doing the photography, I love this stuff. They do such a good job. I just don't have an eye for it. I don't understand it, but and the patience. I'll tell you what, maybe it's just me, but the patience to get a figure to stand on one knee like this is really hard with these figures. I don't know why I struggle so much. But the fact that it looks like he's that he's loading it up, I think looks super cool. You can see the one flying in the background. Give me some diorama shots like this. And here in the back, you see the Steel Brigade. And so I don't care what. They're Steel Brigade. I'm not calling them Steel Corps. It's a stupid name. They're the Steel Brigade. We know what they're supposed to be. But they're flying around in the back. So it seemed like it was kind of lost on a lot of people, and I didn't really think about it either. The trouble bubble basically is meant to go up against anyone with the jetpacks. So I think it's I think it's really cool. I like it, and I love how they're already integrating the stuff, even though we haven't seen them up for pre-order yet. And here, this guy, he's just walking around with an air mine. He's walking around with it, holding on to it. And they did mention about the gun here that it's more like a sonic gun rather than a camera or a sound device. I always thought of it as a sound device. To be honest, looking at it, I think of imagining it like more like a sonic cannon, like in the first Hulk movie. I think that works better. I think that works way better. That it's like a sonic cannon that is used, and then you can use it for other things. And then here's just another shot of the air mine, and it looks very, very similar. But I love the black accents to it. It just really, really helps out with that. The other thing that was discussed on it is, and I don't know how they're going to do it, but the jetpack or the jet on the back made comment that maybe it will be used for other things where it can come off and be plopped on something else. I don't know how you would do that. It doesn't look like there's a peg for it on the back or straps for it, but I am wondering. Yeah, an EMP gun. Yeah, something like that. Okay, I did not mean to do the mini chem toilet. I meant to highlight Eric Thurman's EMP gun. Yes. So, next, we got the reveal. We knew he was coming, and that was Grunt. Now, I have already heard people complain about the M16. I don't know what the issue is with the M16. I am not military. I am not a gun enthusiast. It is not a Nerf gun. I do not expect GI Joe to have full-on realistic weapons. So I don't see what everyone's gripe is with the M16. But I know there is a huge gripe with it. Now, it comes with the helmet. Now, if it's anything like Rock and Roll's helmet, it's going to be nice, soft, and pliable, and it's going to fit on really easily. I like the way that this one fits. And then you have the Steel Brigade style helmet. Now, it was brought up that he does have graves on his whatever it is, his vest. So he has graves on it. But I guess if you wanted a green shirt, you could just take all that off, and then you just have a regular old green shirt, or you can, put something over it. And then you have the laser rifle. So this here, I mean, people have mentioned it. I've mentioned it. Hasbro Pulse, you are missing out on an opportunity to make some money by selling a bunch of these weapons, selling roadblocks, original machine gun, selling, let's say, another gung-ho weapon for the first gung-ho, Flint's actual shotgun, all that stuff. You are missing out. Like, you can easily design it based off the original and then sell it. So, and here, if you look at the backpack, it obviously has ports, so you can carry all the weapons on him. I still think it looks kind of corny with having the gun through the trigger guard, but you can keep everything on it. He's got his little pistol, and then he's got the knife. But it is nice that they're giving you these Steel Brigade heads, so when you army build, you're not running around with the exact same head. Also, if you want to see something really funny, on Geek Dead Life, when they were talking about it, someone on their Discord took this picture and then put a picture of Grunt on it, the actual Grunt O-ring head on it. And then they also took this and made him balding. So he had a receding hairline. And he looks like the dude from the Special Victims Unit on SVU, Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Chris Maloney. At least in my opinion, he did. So if you watch Geek Dead Life, you know where that's at. It's actually pretty funny. And then we got a Crimson Viper, and I know people are complaining. It's another repaint. And listen, I talked about Valiverse having $3.50. It's all repaints, and I get it. This is the same thing. They repaint so you can take that money that you didn't use for a new mold, and you're supposed to put it back in to the product. I'll say it again. Hasbro is a billion-dollar company. GI Joe is not a billion-dollar brand. They get a specific budget, and you would hope that every year they make money, and now they're able to increase that budget. That's the way that it is supposed to. That's the way it's supposed to go. To me, it looks like they're doing that because we're getting a whole bunch of new sculpts. And again, that Dragonfly, you look at his tank. That his tank helped fund new things. The Dragonfly is going to help fund new things, which is great because I want this line to continue on for as long as I can, affordably collect figures. Then I will be probably starting to sell off some of my stuff because there's a lot of stuff I just don't really care for anymore because GI Joe has always been, my thing. But with that said, I love having a Crimson line. It looks awesome. I love the Viper. I love the Bat. You can pretty much keep giving them to me, and I'm going to be happy. There's so many cool looking figures. The truth was, when you look at a lot of the Cobra figures, the army builders were always so damn cool looking. So why would anyone not want more? So I like this. It does look nice. Again, I do hope I do hope that they will finally listen to people like myself that have said it. I'm sure others have said it. They need to retool the legs to tighten them up. And again, that's when I talk about like Valiverse. Like when you reach out to Bobby, you're talking to Bobby. And well, he's already kind of messing with his figures, but he's the one he can reach out to the company or the factory. And if his legs are loose, he's going to be the first one to go back and say, hey, these legs are loose. They need to be fixed. And that's my biggest gripe with the Viper. Well, that and the old stupid boots that cause problems. The original boots with the shin guards, they obstructed from moving it too far, so you lost posability, which is something we all hate. You know, let's be honest, we all hate that. So, all right, Ketchup Viper. Ronnie says Ketchup Viper. Yeah, a little bit. I love the Crimson. I want to say this. So I know people talked about, you know, Tiger, the Python Patrol Crimson Guard, and how stupid it is that he's called the Crimson Guard and he's in different colors. It never even dawned on me as a kid that he was called the Crimson Guard because he was crimson. I just saw him as red. It wasn't until a few years ago when I was at the toy shop with my kids and my son, who was probably 14, 15 at the time. He looked at the crimson, this 4-inch crimson guard, and was like, "It's the Python Patrol." And he goes, "Well, that's pretty stupid that he's called the Crimson Guard. He's not even that color." And I was like, "What?" And that's kind of when I'm like 45 at the time, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm just realizing that crimson was actually about the color of him. But on a total side note, is when I started skating again, I was reading all this stuff at age 40, and people always refer to the skateboards now as, they used to call them new school boards, but they're called popsicle sticks, and I would call it a popsicle stick, but it didn't dawn on me until I was reading something. And they said, yeah, they started calling them popsicle sticks because they look like a popsicle stick. And I literally ran and grabbed my board, and I was like, holy shit, it looks like a popsicle stick. It never dawned on me. So at 40, I realized something that I had been doing something that I had been writing since they started being popsicle sticks about 94. So 25 years. I realize I'm not the brightest guy in the world. All right, so let's try and pipe this on, and let's just take a quick look at it. Let's see if I can present this without it crashing. If it does, then we'll get off of it. But let's take a look here. I'm gonna share a screen here. Share, we used to be able to share a screen at the beginning, and then all of a sudden I could no longer do it. Oh, nope, that's not it. Where is it at? No, don't block it. Okay. Like, I'm having trouble. So listen, while you guys are waiting, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'm close to hitting 2,100. Again, I mentioned it before. It's just a pat on the back. It's just an ego boost, but it makes me feel good. All right. I like feeling. We all like feeling good, right? Actually, share the screen. Select the window. Stream. Okay, here we go. And let's allow this. So let's see what we're at right now. And we're going to go through this. We're going to talk a lot about this. I'm excited for this. So let's see. We are at 8,300 backers. You think there's any chance in hell that it'll hit the 10,000 mark while we're still on stream, and that is saying if we go till midnight, because I can stay on all damn night and I got to get ready for work. All right. So it is sitting at 8,300. We're going to check on this in a little bit. I was going to bring up the Brian Brinks chart, but I believe again that crashes my site or crashes my StreamYard. It makes everything super slow. Wow. Stop that. Okay. So who backed it? Who backed it? Just tell me if you backed it in the chat. Allison just piped in. Let's see. It's possible we're up to 37 Batman announced since the stream started. It is possible. It is possible. And listen, if you guys didn't catch, Allison is going to be on. She's the first guest on the new show starting this Thursday, 10 p.m. 10 p.m. on Thursday, Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be chatting with her, getting to know. We're going to be giving back to the community so you guys get to know everyone. So let's see here. Alex Martinez is in the house. Nice to see you. So Eric Thurman says he backed it. Jeffrey Smith backed it. DJ Fevish has backed 2 of them. Shark Eyes has backed one all the way from the land down under. Cobra Commander has backed one. David R. has backed one. Look at all these people. Matthew Matson says, I'm going to as soon as we get off here. Wow. There was someone I was talking to that said, I just can't back it no matter what. And I said, bullshit. You know what? I mentioned this too. I am absolutely shocked there's not an early bird special. I think that's what really drove it so quickly. And I think they wanted to see if they could do that again. And I don't think, again, it's going to hit the 19,000. I don't think that's, especially for the price point. But I was surprised too that there wasn't an early bird special. Dan the Toy Man backed it. Will R says he backed it. Ronnie did not because Ronnie is an O-ring. So Ronnie, if you have not checked out Articulated Chad, or now it is Chad, you need to check out his stuff because you definitely will. The Lilith, I saw you. The Lilith 1978. It's a pass for me. I was a hi to the Lilith. I have seen the Lilith numerous times over on Jay's stream on Friday nights. So it's great to have you in here. I saw you also when I was on Frostbite's channel. So thank you for joining. I love getting new people in here. Hopefully people like to hear what I have to say. Again, I said before, I don't know why anyone wants to hear me talk for 3 hours, but thank you to every single one of you that has. Jeremy says he got 2 of them. Eric Thurman says, well, I think I hit the wrong one. I think the 2 figs will be Night Force, Crazy Lights, and Airborne. I'm going to discuss that in a second. Eric Thurman says, I'm not sure how to explain it to my girlfriend yet. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that. Oh, you guys hear it. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. Say hi. Look over the screen. Hi, buddy. Hi. I know. Let me call the boy and see if he gets mad when I ask him to go let you out. All right. I'm going to hit mute so you guys don't hear me yell. Okay, I'm back. Just had to go get a hold of my son. Let's see here. I tuned in before, but never commented before. Well, thank you for commenting. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for commenting. Listen, I appreciate it. I love it. I'm seeing all the seeing all the comments about Roman. Everyone loves Roman. Okay, so we're getting the Haslab. I gotta say this. As you can see, I have the Haslab Sky Striker behind me. And we also have. Now, this is, you can cue the sad music. This is not my childhood Dragonfly. This one doesn't even have stickers. I got this pretty cheap a few years ago without stickers. So I was actually pretty happy about it. So yeah, cue the sad music that I don't have my childhood one. But we kind of compare it, look at a few things. And then we have the Night Force Ripcord. I gotta, listen. Side note here. I'm not a fan of their new O-ring. The legs are super loose. They don't seem to get tight enough. All this stuff is so flimsy that it doesn't even stay on. My original ripcord, his mask stays on, his pack stays on. It's kind of disappointing, to be honest. So, all right, but I was shocked at the price. Very shocked at the price. I thought this was going to be close to $350. I said, no way in hell is this thing going to be under $300. I am happy to say that I was wrong. I think everyone is happy to think that I was wrong on that. I thought we were going to be looking at closer to $400. And it's just like they can do it because it's their property. But the question was, were they going to? Do they have such a bad taste in their mouth because of what's happened with the Engine of Vengeance? And do you really want to take the chance after what happened with the Hiss tank? So here's the first shot of it. It is not an identical replica, and I'm fine with that. But this is built after a real-world helicopter, but it is different. And a lot of the things that I had said rang true. Because when we were talking about, hey, what could you really do for... And the thing is, these aren't even stretch goals, which I really like about that. But I said I thought it was great because on the wings here, you can change out the artillery. And they do that, which I think is awesome. You can put them on different sides of the wings. I do wish that we had a loadout of just three missiles that went across. I wish we could have just the 3 missiles like this. Move this really quick. So I really wish, they had it so you could have that loadout, but I'm not going to complain. I'm not a big fan of the missiles on the side, but it sure ain't a deal breaker for me, I'll tell you that much. And look, I put them in the correct position. And Lenny talked about it too. If you don't know, in the attack helicopters, the pilot sits behind the gunner because really the gunner couldn't see. But since they fly like this and they sit above it, they can see over them. It's not like that. It's not like that on the artwork. All right. So add this back to the stream. So here's everything that you're going to get just on the initial. I love the flight stand. I like the fact that you can turn it around so it either looks like it's landing or that it's coming down. They're giving you a bunch of blast effects, fire effects. I thought that it would be nice if they gave you some sort of effects that were coming out of the engines, but unfortunately they didn't. And I'm not really going to complain because I think there's more than enough stuff in this. But only 2 missiles. That's kind of weird. You would assume they would have at least 6 missiles. Here's just a top look at it, which gives you a better look of everything. I do like the fact that these blast effects or I guess they're technical blast effects. They can be moved, so it can make it look like it's firing. Now the question is can this also be used for some of the other stuff? They specifically talk about the His tank, that we would have some sort of blast effects for the cannons eventually. Haven't seen them yet. And Wild Bill, I mean, the flight suit is just telling you we're going to start getting other pilots. Just be prepared. I think that the other pilots are going to be coming. And I don't think that when we get a figure, one of the pilots or one of the drivers, we're going to get the vehicle. So I think people got to get off that one. They're expensive. They're large. These things are very large. I love the glow-in-the-dark instruments. Not the glow-in-the-dark. The illuminated instrument panels. The green looks really nice. He also talked about how hopefully when it's done, it's not just going to be like the center part. It's going to be the whole thing illuminated properly. But the fact that they do it for the gunner and for the pilot, I think looks absolutely awesome. Just kind of quickly looking at some of the comments here. Says, I wish the Trouble Bubble and the Air Chariot had display stands. I'm with you. They really should. I mean, I made one for Serpentor. I did a whole video on it. It's really cheap to do, but the fact that it still sits up there and it hasn't fallen, woo, it still kind of worries me. So here's one of these is the gunner, one of these is the pilot. I'm not sure which is which. But again, it just looks really nice. They put so much time and detail into these things. And I know people say, oh, who cares? I don't need this. Make it cheaper. But the point is that this is a dream project and it's not going to be done again. And I know people say this is not supposed to be a dream project. A dream project would be a Tomahawk, which would be, 4.5, 5 feet long. And it's not going to happen. Even though I've talked how you could do it and make it work for both. So I think this looks really good. Here, here's I don't know why they have two from the back. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. Why they showed this one, but I showed it anyway. So here's a side view, and here you can see the missile actually firing off of it, and just the way that they peg it in, I think it looks really nice. And here you can see the blast effects. So it's actually blowing out the back. I can't believe I said that either. Yeah, so you can actually see these rockets are about ready to fire here. Jeffrey Smith says, Dreamer is Sky Striker and 1/12 scale. Yeah, that would be, it'd be close to the size of the aircraft carrier. I think Emily said it'd be like 5 feet. So, okay, not as big as the aircraft carrier. It'd be like 5 feet long. Now, the other thing you have to remember, and maybe, I don't know if everyone knows this, the Sky Striker is not a 2-scale F-14 Tomcat. It is way, way smaller. So, yeah, I wouldn't expect that anytime soon. Here's the other side of it. So you just can't see both sides of it. Here's the front and the back of it. Again, these things, it looks awesome. I just want it. I want to fly it down to Disney. Now, I do understand this is not the same helicopter that Kobe Bryant was in. So hopefully it won't crash. I'm going to hell anyway, guys, so don't worry about it. So here you have all these fire effects here. Yeah, they did. They added little bits of different color to it. I like the fact that it's not the exact same, but you can make it pretty close to it. Here's the other side of it. There's a lot of redundant pictures we have here. I got through this way quicker than I had anticipated, guys. Here's the top of it. The blades are completely different. I am wondering how it's going to stay straight, because it is one of those things where this is going to be a, if you look at like this one here, you can see, exactly how it, starts to sag down. This one's not even that bad. So yeah, it's, and the one that they had in there looked really, really straight. So I like this. Now Lenny talked about the gun here. It does go in and out. So I guess you can push it back probably when it's not in a firing mode. I think that's a nice little detail. Again, because this isn't a realistic, this isn't a real helicopter. So it's cool that you can do little things like this. Here you can see the blast effect right here. They're giving you these decals so you can create your own tiger, your tiger fly if you want to. Yeah, Ted. Oh, yeah. So Ted just said, very cool. There's 68 people in here. Thank you. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. I mentioned that before. 70 people. Thank you, Ted. Ted just got me up to 70. Thank you very much. Roman's over there. You guys hear Roman? He's barking. He's excited about it too. We did hit 100. We did hit 100 once. It was shocking. I will not be putting any decals on this. I hate decals. I will say this, for this price, I said the same thing about the Sky Striker. I think everything should have been tampoed on. Sky Striker, they tampoed on a lot of stuff. But I understand why they gave you the stickers, so you could change it and make different things. And I'm happy with that, because they didn't have to do too much. But if you want a tiger fly, if you want to paint it, I don't know. But you know what? People customize so much stuff. I look at, like, I bought a brand new skateboard and I'm going out to destroy it. So I guess I understand why so many people do that type of weird thing. I love the fact that they did take the side cannon that we had right here. He had the side cannon. All right. And they modified it, but I love that they have the bullet belt that's running across it. So I always looked at this as a laser gun. But this is really cool. It's a nice bullet belt. You can see the design on it. Again, this is the type of detail that we've seen before. And this is going to open up so you can see the detail on the actual engine. And like you said, everything is already going to be painted and look really nice. So I love it. And I got to say this. So what was it? Salsa, chips and salsa. This is like when I was talking last week, when people were talking about, well, what do you think they could do for the stretch goals? And I said, hey, I mean, this to me, like the way they did the HISS tank to make things change, this is what I was talking about. And this is exactly what I wanted. And the reason for it is, if you ever watched videos of the Little Bird when it is in action and it has this array and it just flies down and it just levels everyone and everything in its way, that's what I wanted. And I was so excited to get chips and salsa, which unfortunately, because we didn't get, ketchup and mustard, which would have went really nice with a Sky Striker on your childhood aircraft carrier. But no one's bitter. I'm not bitter. You're bitter. Anyway, Radical Toys, nice to see you. Check out his streams. I know he does them on Wednesday. He's fun. He's interactive. Again, check him out. Anyway, So here, this is just like, so I talked about it before. So this here is leading into the gun. So you see more bullets here. Oddly enough, they have like the little Nerf tips. Why do they have Nerf tips? All right. So let's remove that really quick. So I'll show you on this. So right here, these all come off. Actually, there's 3 that come off. Now, what they showed on that is they're going to fold down. They're not going to just come off. Like, these all have to come off. This one's hard to get off. Hold on. Anyway, this is where the ladder goes. But if you don't have one, you can see right there, that is the Gatling gun that's leading right there. So the detail that they put into it, but you're going to get even more detail on that one. So I love the fact that they're doing that. It's just going to be great for pictures, but I like the fact that the whole thing isn't coming off, that it's just going to swing down. It just gives it so much more detail than you probably ever could have, imagined. And these are the little things that, the way that it's going to be painted and everything, this is why we're paying $275, why they're charging $275 for this. So here's the blast effects. Again, I guess it does have 4 rockets, but I just like if we could have had a wing set that was the exact same. Yeah, so yeah, you need a maintenance guy is what you're going to need. You're definitely going to need a maintenance guy. There's no doubt about that. Hi, buddy. You want to say hi again? Say hi. Come on. Say hi. Oh, hello. Hello. Okay. But you just went out, and if I ask the boy to let you out again, he's going to flip out. Because I know you were out, because I could hear him talking to you. No. Go lay down. Go lay down. I love you, but you got to go lay down. Go lay down. All right. So here's the chips over here. I think this just looks so awesome. And they said these are all going to have their own blast effects or ports for the blast effects. So I will, I'll be happy to see that. And here you have the tow cable, which is really cool. I wonder how well it's going to work, what you can actually do with it. And the dog bones here, they talked about, you can remove them. So if you don't want to have it, the arsenal up there, it doesn't look like it's supposed to have something that it doesn't. So now I like the fact that they gave it the 2 guns. So it only has, so here you can see the 2 guns and then it has the minigun. What it doesn't have is the radar, which I'm fine with. But it would have been nice to have the radar. Let me move this really quick here. So this does have a Gatling gun in the front. This, I believe, is supposed to be a radar. And then it has the 1 gun on this side. So they're basically just going to give you 2 guns. It doesn't have one over here. All right. Now, what I don't like on the Sky Striker is it has one on both sides. But that's based off the actual F-14, which only has the one gun on it. So by looking at it, I mean, it's cool. It's fine by me because, again, it's not. The F-14 was supposed to be so you can make it an actual F-14. That's why they gave you the different stickers and stuff like that. So, I'll quickly go back here. So it does have everything for the most part. Now, I don't know why there weren't pictures of this here. So the canopy will open like this, if you want, or it's going to have the gull wings, which is the same way that the Hiss tank does. So you have the gull wings that kind of swing out, so you can make it look like they're getting in and getting out, because I think that's just how they want to make it look. I'm not sure if the helicopters actually lift up that way or if you just kind of get into it. But yeah, I think it looks, the detail that they're putting into it is wonderful. There is no rotary bit. Ooh. There is no electronic rotary blades or this. You guys all remember this, right? So remove this. Because some kid would poke their eye out. Yeah, this one even makes noise now. All right. But looking at it, you're really going to get a wonderful design that you can make almost the exact same. You just talk about the tail. I'm trying to see if I can get a good picture of the tail here. So if you look at the tail here, he specifically talked about how this one here, all right, is on an angle. Now you can still do that, but you can make it so it goes up more or it goes out more like a V. And you can also take off the back piece, which is supposed to have some sort of exhaust. I didn't really understand how he talked about it like having a jet, but it didn't make any sense to me why it would have a jet considering it was covered up. It would have been nice if they would have made it so you could put a propeller on the back. Maybe make that tail so it pops off and you have a tail that goes on to make it run exactly how a helicopter does run. And it has lights. I realize there's a lot of pictures in here that aren't showing the lights. So let me get in front of it again. All right, so you have the lights right here. So it has two different lights. And then it also has a light right on the bottom, which I believe that if you have it on the stand, it's going to shine down onto whatever is below it, which is the Dragonfly logo, or if you have a figure down there, or different things like that. So it's just going to be great for photography. If you big into photography, it has what I would say is less lights than the his take, but that's fine. I don't think a lot of people didn't seem to really care for that. But this thing looks awesome. I am so excited about this. Yeah, I made a mistake. I started reading the comments, and you see Mr. Wonderful talking about his kid is 12 but knows how to treat his stuff. Listen, I talked about that like when I had given my son a lot of GI Joe stuff, a lot of the vehicles, and I talked about it. I talked about it on yesterday morning. It seems like so long ago now. On Frostbite's channel, that I had given my kid a lot of different toys, and I had told him, hey, as long as he doesn't break them because he's rough or because he's mad, if it breaks, it breaks. I'm cool with it because the toys are meant to be played with. And he was flying around this is all because Mr. Wonderful has said his kid's 12 but understands how to treat his stuff. My son was flying the Conquest and he flipped it upside down. And if you remember, the wings on the bottom would come off and it fell, and the tip of the wing broke. The tip of the tail wing broke. And when I got home from work, he told me what happened. He was playing with it. He flipped it upside down and it fell. And he thought I was gonna be mad. And I was like, "Were you rough with it?" No, I said, "Were you mad?" And like, no, I'm like, "That's what it's meant for. That is what it's meant for. It's meant to be played with." So I understand, Mr. Wonderful. If you have a kid that's like that, that's awesome. Quickly, not a fan of Kickstarter by large companies, but I think this is at least. I can't read. Not a fan of Kickstarters by large companies, but I think this is at least. I feel it's a fairly priced. We're going to get into that when we're done. Once we finish up everything that it comes with, we're going to get into that. Because I know people do not like that. And I understand where people are coming from. I also understand the point that we're not going to get the stuff unless it is crowdfunding. All right, so here's the figure that it comes with. Now, I do like the fact that they seem to be doing a really good job with having interchangeable hats with hair, or two different hair pieces like they did with Zarana. They seem to be getting it down a little bit better. The other thing that you have to do, I gotta say this, especially with like Lady J, take a little bit of sticky tack, put it on her head, and then push whatever hair you have on it, and it stays on it. Toupees, yes, Johnny Reno. And let's say hi to Ryan Sweeney, Dreadnought Ryan. Thank you for joining. You're just in time for me to completely destroy Gridiron. I like when people can dish out jokes and can take jokes. Some people just can't do it. So, Wild Bill. Let's look at Wild Bill. How close to Wild Bill is he? If I get Wild Bill out. All right. So, oh, that didn't work. Here's Wild Bill. He's got the blue cavalry hat. All right. It's got the little tassels on it. He's got his knife. He's got the brown vest and the green suit. Now he has the 2 6-shooters that I never understood why they would be crossed on his thigh, but he does. So how close to Wild Bill is this? Well, I think it's a pretty good depiction of him. I like the fact that the pistols aren't there. He's got the cross shoulder right here, crossing over the boots, which are kind of hanging over. I like the fact that you have the little zip ups there. Oddly enough, these are the things that I find from reviewing stuff. If you look at his legs, he has zippers right there. I have, by reviewing stuff, comparing the classified to the the O-ring figures, I have found so many little details that I didn't realize that were there. So, we'll get back to this here. So I think this looks really good. I do like the change of the holsters. That is one big thing. Lilith says, Wild Bill just needs a cigar. You know what? I have a feeling that would make sense. I understand the cross draw, but not from the thighs. All right. I think you kind of look like you do like the Macarena, right? Like if you're cross. I can't dance. I don't know if that's a Macarena. And Eric Thurman says, that's it. I'm getting cigars. You know, Lilith, you should have had cigars already 3D printed and ready to go the moment you said that, because I have a feeling you have like 60 people that probably would be ordering them from you right now. Yeah, Gridiron does have a box of cigars, don't they? Or they're dropping one. Or one of Bobby's figures that are coming out. Yes, Tony. That's about as Mexican as I get, the Macarena. Actually, I don't even know if it was Mexican. Maybe it was Italian. I don't know what it was. I don't listen to that type of crap. I listen to punk. All right, literally. A punk with toys. It's not that I'm a punk with toys. It's that I'm a punk rocker with toys. All right. So here's how he looks with everything taken off. Now, I will say this. I really wish that the classified figures, that the vests and everything were made to come off without having to pop and swap. So if you want to get this stuff off, you really have to heat it up, pop everything off. I like the Valiverse idea. Unfortunately, they're not always it doesn't always work. It's hard sometimes with the mushrooms. Yes, a punk ass with toys. But I hope the sunglasses are good. We have seen from different brands that sunglasses do not always work. I think that both Valiverse and Hasbro, when they did the Sergeant glasses, they're both trash. I thought how they did Roadblock, the Cobra Island Roadblock, and Baroness is good. They kind of pop into place. So, but I got Elf over here who has awesome sunglasses. I thought there was another NECA figure. Oh, yeah, one of the gargoyles. Nice sunglasses. So it can be done. Let's just hopefully it's good. But he's got his little knife. Again, the whole vest looks exactly like this figure. Now, the difference is, quickly looking at it, he has a shirt on. It looks like he's just letting it all hang out there. All right, so that is the base. Let's get into the first tier, which is Night Force Ripcord, which we have right here. Again, like everything, like seriously, once things start falling off them, it's like. So looking at it, it's pretty damn close. It has the parachute over here. Now, it does have these crappy guns. I gotta say, these guns are awful. I just don't like them. I really don't like the pistol. I don't hate it so much, but it needs to be retired. They've gone to realistic weapons. They need to retire that one. I don't mind the longer gun and the smaller gun. God help me if I hear Mega J Retro one more time, call it a fucking Uzi, I'm going to scream. There is nothing Uzi about that. Sorry, Mega J. No offense towards you. And when someone says no offense, they're about to offend you. It's not a fucking Uzi. And I'm not a military guy or a gun guy, but oh my God, Uzis are one of the most common generic guns. Okay. What was that I had said last week? Okay. So when I was talking with Mr. Popinski about what some of the backings could be, he said ripcord. I said, I can't see if you. I said, it's got to be Airborne. I think Airborne should have. He's so iconic on that packaging. And when he said ripcord, I said Night Force ripcord. Because people are going to want a ripcord. But a Night Force ripcord, they already put it in the Sky Striker, right? And they're going down that well right now. And I was right. I like being right. Hey, Travis finally showed up. Nice to see you, Travis. I've only called you out like 5 times, but that's cool. You missed the whole Viper Island thing. How you're only part of the Viper. No big deal. Don't worry about it. You can check it on the replay. Yeah, you know what? I don't care if Airborne is a mainline release. He should be with it. But I like the figure. I don't mind the Top Gun, like I said. I don't like the handgun, and I don't like the smaller SMG. Everything else looks really good. The face sculpt, well, you're looking at that face sculpt right there. Gotta keep myself together considering somehow I'm missing it. Fucking rock and roll. So, let's remove this really quick. So there's the face sculpt. All right. And then if we go back and at the stream, I think it looks pretty close to what Ripcord looks like. So I'm pretty impressed with that. I don't want a Night Force Airborne. I want just Airborne. he should come with this. I'm backing it, so frankly, I don't care if people don't. Quickly, Payne says here, we will get into that Lent up rage on Friday. So if you haven't on Friday, there is a link to his YouTube channel. I will be on his channel at 9:35. Later on, once I get the actual link, I will post the link. So if you watch this on the replay, hopefully, if you go down and click on it, it'll actually take you to the actual stream. If not, you're going to go there anyway. You're going to like his YouTube channel. You're going to subscribe, and then you're going to go find it anyway. Okay. So, I think this figure looks awesome. I am happy with this. Here's everything of how the digital render looks when he's all fully mocked up. Again, it looks awesome. Again, the bigger rifle looks better when it has the suppressor on it. It looks stupid when it doesn't have the suppressor on it. Just so you know. And here it is with everything taken off. So here is what the hell was that? So on one side you actually have the parachute. This is the whole overlay of the front, and again, it looks really nice. The rebreather, everything looks really, really nice. I am extremely happy. And now you have, Jay says, the Halo jumper out of a helicopter. Listen, they used to jump out of the fangs, right? Cobra just jumped right out of the fangs. So this can't be that bad, right? But what was funny is that actually when I brought up to Mr. Popinski when I was talking to him, I said to him, I go, I can't see Ripcord because he doesn't jump out. But then I went, you know what? You also don't jump out of an F-14, right? So you don't do Halo jumping out of that. So they are really going heavy down the Night Force. Now, here's what I gotta say. Even though I'm all in on the lines, Tiger Force, Python Patrol, Night Force, in my opinion, is way different. Like when you look at it, you're like, that is a military style. Like you could see them in stuff like this. So I'm really happy with this as being the first tier, which hopefully we will hit it very shortly. All right, so there are two more tiers if you hit it, 16,000 and 19,000. Now, they just put the Steel Brigade head on there, so a lot of people think it's just generic. I'm calling you right now that one of these figures will be a Night Force Steel Brigade or Night Force Steel Corps. I'm hoping we get at least one core character. And it doesn't have to be one of the, I shouldn't say core character, one real character. I don't really want two different Steel Brigades, whether one be like a mechanic Steel Brigade. But they're going heavy down that line, considering you have the army builders, which are also going to have multiple heads. So you're going to have, different heads for that. Is there a female in that? Is it a female and a male? If not, we're gonna get that. I don't remember that. If it's Quick Kick, they can keep it. Kick his ass out of the helicopter. I do not like Quick Kick. All right, the best thing Quick Kick ever did was get his ass beat by Tommy Arashikage. All right, and in that comic, when Tommy beats the living crap out of him, he's literally just making fun of him as he's doing it. All right, that's what's so awesome about it. He's literally just making fun of it. I said, God, I hope not. Steel Brigade has nothing to do with this. Well, I mean, I think they're scared to give too many core characters in the Haslab. I think we all know we're eventually going to get another Cobra Commander. But yeah. I think we all know we're going to get another Cobra Commander. It just won't be the Mickey Mouse one. I am really on that. that I would love. I don't want to open the Cobra Commander. I think I'm just going to keep it until I get it, and then I probably will. This was I originally I said the three that I thought. I even put in the picture: Doc, Airborne. I think the Doc would be a hard sell because not only do people want him, but people would kind of complain, I think, that you put a black character, and there's so few black characters throughout the line. Yes, there is enough, but there's so few black characters that you would also put one in a Haslab where everyone can't get it. But Doc, people want Doc more than they want Lifeline. He just is way cooler. He looks cooler. Bastion says, Valley seems to have business sense and that he knows what customers seem to want and deliver better options and quicker without NFTs. I don't know if this is what you guys are talking about it. He has one line that he handles, and he is involved in the line and cares about that line. So does he have a better business sense? What you're saying? I don't know if he has a better business sense, but he can do what he wants. Where Lenny would have to go up so many ladder rungs to get to the point to get certain things out. I don't know if there was more of a conversation to it, but I discussed that, like when there's been issues with the Action Force product, he knows about it, and he's on the phone with the factory fixing it, and I commend him for that. That is how it should be, especially with a smaller company. So there's a lot of things I don't like about that whole thing, but those figures are really good. Those figures get better, and he addresses problems, which is something that, not everyone does. Hopefully Hasbro did. That rock and roll is awesome. That the plastic feels good, and hopefully that's how it stays, because some of those Tiger Force and Python Patrol figures that were coming out, you're really walking a fine line. And then you have this next one. I don't know what it could be. I do fear that it's going to be two. There's going to be two Steel Brigade figures. Just like we had, the Hiss Driver, the Hiss Tactician, and then the Hiss Gunner. Now, one being a female was awesome. Could one be a female Steel Brigade? I guess so. I would like to have some actual core characters, but again, if you also want people to army build, it's difficult. Lilith says, Bobby is passionate about his line. There's no denying that, and he is a fan of Joe, but I do have a few issues with him, but I won't go into that. Lilith, I could probably sit there and go back and forth and talk with you about that on Instagram like I do so many other people. You guys would be surprised how many things. I've said it before. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care. If he kept a lot of his personal feelings and personal shots out, I think more people would like him, and more people would support that brand. He has a huge following. He has a huge following, huge support, but I think he could be even bigger. But he has turned so many people off. I once asked a buddy of mine about I'm like, have you ever bought a skateboard or skate shoes because you like the rider? And his answer was no, but I've not bought a skateboard or shoes or a shirt because I don't like him. And that rings so true. Let's see here. Justin Thur Anderson. I know that's not pronounced properly. I don't think that I have ever seen you. Matthew will tell me if I'm wrong. So it's great to see you. What about landing crew members? That's kind of what I'm thinking what you might get. maybe not. I mean, I didn't say a landing crew member. I said like maybe a mechanic, but I could also see a landing crew member. I just think that a Night Force, because we're going really heavy on Night Force, that we're going to get a Night Force Steel Brigade. And then I have a feeling, and I don't want it to, but like a mechanic or grounds crew. I think, Anthony's saying it right here. Yeah, like I think it would actually be cool because that is world building. That is what stuff, like that is the type of stuff where Articulated Chad talks. He hates the GI Joe, the GI Joe classified line. I said it, Chad. He hates it because it's not world building. But, and again, I have world build. I have a world built downstairs of GI Joe. Anthony, if you looked, you'd see the video, right? And Anthony tells me I need to do a video of my GI Joe room. Shows you how much he pays attention to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna send him back to toy kind of mood. Listen, there's nothing better than inside jokes coming from one person to someone else that you guys don't know. I'm sorry. Anthony's laughing. I'm laughing. Everyone else is going, you guys are assholes. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So I like that they are doing world building. You know, Lenny talked about that this is world building, and it truly is. It truly is world building. And to have a grounds crew or a ground member, I don't want a crew. You know, if you buy multiple, then yeah. It's not a bad idea, but I want like a grounds crew that's also a mechanic. I could see that considering they have like the wrench from CoverGirl, and then they have other types of tools, if I remember correctly, in the Hiss tank. So I think that would be, you know, really awesome. Someone else mentioned Wayne Ruthell too. I don't think it's going to be, but someone did mention one about that. The other one that people were talking about is a Pilot Scarlet. I don't think that they would do the Pilot Scarlet that looks exactly like the Ace that they did with this thing, but it was not a bad idea. Someone also mentioned that they need a new Scarlet that looks more like the classic, but more than anything has better articulation. Yeah. So let's see. Justin says, "Yeah, I've seen it. I just haven't watched yet because I don't want to cry." The thumbnail pic. Oh, he must be talking to someone else. The thumbnail pic is any indication it's a beautiful man. So okay. And then the last pitch. I think this is the last picture that I have is. This is just how big this thing is. Lenny is a big man. People say it's like 6'1". I didn't seem that tall, but he's just a big man. So this thing is 34 inches long. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to stop this. So I know I've shown this before, and I did a whole video about just how big these vehicles are. But once again, people, I mean, here I am buying it. And believe me, my dealer, my 3D printing dealer, who doesn't care, he's just. So I printed this myself. So this thing is 34 inches long. So this thing here is 16 inches long. And I did a whole video on things being too big, or how big they are. I'm not trying to talk people out of it or anything. So here it is. This thing is, when I say 14 inches long, this thing is huge. So that thing's going to be huge. You know how big this guy's right? So you guys know how big the Dragonfly is. This thing is actually shorter than the Dragonfly. Not by much. But it's just so damn big. And I don't think people realize it, and I mentioned it before. I'm not trying to talk anyone out of it. People bought 10 hisses. I don't know what they're going to do with 10 hisses. I don't have room. Admittedly, I don't have a huge house. So I have 2 3D printed hisses, and I have a Haslab one. But yeah, so I like the fact that it's going to be up in the air. I also ordered a Robo Skull. I don't know where I'm going to put that. That thing's huge. It's not as big as the TIE Fighter. Like I said, my 3D print dealer, he has that TIE Fighter, and that thing's gargantuous. I mean, it is so big. It is so damn big that it's crazy. And he's constantly 3D printing more and more stuff. Okay, so let's see here. All right. I actually accidentally got rid of the Hasbro Pulse. So where are we at? I was hoping, I had a feeling that it wasn't going to fund today. The early bird backer, that was the big thing with the last one. I mean, yeah, it did so well. Anyway, and I'm not worried about this thing not hitting 19,000. I think that it is a shoe-in to hit 19,000. So 8,500. No way we're going to hit 10,000 in the next half hour. But I need to run for a second. I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourself. 66 people. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Send super chats if you haven't. That makes me happy. Okay, I'm back. And you guys are still here. Thank you. So I've been doing the stream since Black Friday. So over 6 months now. That's the first time. This might be TMI. First time I had to take a potty break. That's how you know you have kids, when you use potty. But I ran and got my kid from work and came back and left you guys here before I took a restroom break. So so anyway, let's see what the chat's saying here. Yeah, I did not go poopy. Believe me, I would be here. Listen, you guys would be waiting a lot longer. You want to sell your Hiss tank? Oh my gosh, man! I'm like fiending to get it. Like, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And just having 2 3D printed ones and knowing, listen, I complain about how big they are, but man, like when you just see it, ooh, it's oh my god, they're just so massive and they make you happy. Like, I don't like, listen, I'm gonna get that Dragonfly. I like the fact that it can be on a stand. You know what would be what? So Shark had talked about it, not Artist Shark. Shark Guys had talked about it. He said I think what would have been a great early bird backer would have been a landing pad for it, like the headquarters. But of course, if you did a headquarters, then people would be like, "Oh my God, they must be coming out with a headquarters." when they're really not. Wade Howlettson. You got to do a comparison. Yes. You mean with the 3D printed Hiss? I definitely will be. If that's what you're talking about, I definitely will be. It's been like just comparing. Trying to think of what else. I didn't like the RAM cycle, comparing those two. But comparing, like, doing the Haslab, the Sky Striker, was such a pain that I broke it into like 3 different parts. One was just kind of the opening. One was the figures, and one was comparing this Sky Striker to the original Sky Striker, and the 25th anniversary. I also did Serpentor. I compared the Serpentor. So those like take a lot of time. But listen, if you're watching my channel and you're watching my reviews, like, you might as well just like get some popcorn, take a potty break, and know you're going to be here for a while. Had I left you guys hanging on the roadblock or on the rock and roll, it would have been like an hour longer as I looked and just stressed out over looking for a rock and roll, and I could not find it for the life of me. And wow, I gotta say hi to Usual Mike Television. Thank you for joining. I have watched your stuff for quite some time, and it's great to have you here. Again, I like having anyone and everyone, but it's great to see new people in the community that are joining in. So, So next year will be a Haslab. So, let's see. Lilith says here. So now Dragonfly confirmed is the next Haslab. Okay, so no, I don't think though. I don't think that they would ever do anything like that. I don't think they could do a Python Patrol or Tiger Force, anything like that. It's too niche to be honest. It's a lot of people don't even like the Tiger Force figures. Hell, the Tiger Force RAM cycle was being sold for like $12 or something. DJ, I think you nailed it. I think you're nailing it right there. And that's Justin. Yeah, the hydrofoil would be so big. I think it's a Slender Machine. I think it is a Slender Machine. There is no doubt about that. So yeah, I think next year you're going to get that, but I don't think they do anything like that. I'm very adamant about this, and I will. And they even may do it. They should never do this Sky Striker again. All right, this Sky Striker. I funded this mold. Other people funded this mold. It should never be done again. That his tank, we funded it. It is our mold. All right, it is like Viper Island stealing other people's shit. It should not be done again because we're the one that funded it. Now they can do another one. They could do a much more scaled down one. I'd be fine with that. But the one that we got, no. And same with this. That was not glitching. That was me going. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't know what that was. This, I did it again. Shit. The Dragonfly should not be done again. We funded it. It is our mold, right? If we're funding it, it is our mold. They should not use it again. That is just my personal opinion. But going back to next year, I think Thunder Machine is dead on. And I don't think you were the one that said it. I think that I thought someone else said it, but yeah, DJ Fevish said it. I think the Thunder Machine. I truly do believe, and we talked about it. Was it last year? Not last week. A couple weeks ago. The issue with the GI Joe Haslabs, in my opinion, and I'm talking about the GI Joe vehicles, is the ones that you want to do for a Haslab are the earlier ones. They don't have a lot of accessories that you can do and that wouldn't completely change. All the tanks, you can't really fit figures into it. They kind of sit on top of it. And I don't know what kind of accessories you could put on it. A Havoc you could, but I don't know if people want a Havoc. Now, if you gave me a Havoc and you gave me one where the canopy was actually protected and the gunner station had more protection, okay. It has the little hovercraft in the back that flies out. It's got all the missiles. That's something that you could really start messing with, because you're not messing with a real world design or something very classic. I mentioned what I thought about the Vamp, where you could do a Vamp and have 3 different tiers of, you have the base body, and you have Vamp Mark 1, you hit second tier, Vamp Mark 2, and you have third tier, you have the Stinger. And you do it at a cheap enough price. And now we're seeing $275 for this thing, which is, they said it's longer. I think they said the Night Raven was 28 inches. So the thing is like 6 inches longer than a Night Raven. So this helicopter is going to be huge. It's huge. And it's wider than what people think because of the wings. People aren't taking into consider just how big those wings are. So I don't think that it would be a snowcat. I think anything, when it comes down to Arctic stuff, it is a very seasonable thing. The fact that Frostbite Repros, they're from Australia, kind of makes me laugh, because they've never seen snow before. Plus, the snowcat has no guns. Why am I like the only person in the world that like ever said anything as a kid? Like, why does the thing not have guns? It has 4 missiles, and then it has 3 ski missiles. It makes no sense whatsoever. It needs some sort of gun. Same with the Wolverine. It only has 12 missiles on it. So I think it's hard to do a GI Joe Haslab. I think this Dragonfly is perfect. I think the Thunder Machine next year, because I think it'll probably be around the same time, I think it's perfect. It is exactly what you want, because even though you could give one that looks like the original, that thing was just pieced together. So who cares if like you have different like missiles on the rack or a different jet. And people would buy it up. People would love it. And you'd also be kind of veering away from just G.I. Joe and Cobra. Now you're talking the Dreadnoks. So that means maybe the next time that one comes around, maybe you're going to talk about the Iron Grenadiers. And I would love the Iron Grenadiers. And Ronnie, when you asked me about what my 5 favorite figures were, I really should have threw the Iron Grenadier on there. I think that I always loved the Crimson Guard, but the Iron Grenadier was just a little bit better. I can't wait for that. But yeah, it seems like the chat's going pretty good here, guys. I'm trying to kind of read through the comments. It is so hard. I've mentioned this before. If I don't read your comment, I'm not ignoring you. It is just that it is so hard when you're doing this alone, so you don't have anyone doing another talking point. I'm glad that you guys have a wonderful chat going on. I try and read through the stuff, but you notice sometimes I read it and I'm literally reading in the middle of a message. Chris McLeod does it all the time. That's why you realize I think he doesn't read the chat nearly as much as his channel and that show has grown. It is harder and harder just to read. So yeah, Shark Guys here says Ronnie hasn't seen snow. I, however, have seen snow in Chicago, Reno, and Detroit. Oh, you've been here. Well, you didn't even stop and say hi. I'm gonna guess it was well before you knew me. All right, so that's interesting. I got to keep that because he's gonna be one of the guests for sure. So I think we've covered everything with the Haslab. Is there anything else to really discuss? The October Guard, I don't see us getting the October Guard just because of what's going on with Russia. Unfortunately, it sucks. I mean, I think the October Guard would be perfect to do something like that. But yeah, I just don't see us getting anything like that. So we'll talk about Thursday. So I've mentioned it before. I don't know what politics are. And we ain't talking politics. Alex says, maybe if it comes up. I hate when things come up over there, but do you think we'll be doing a Cobra Claw? I think so. It is small enough. That is exactly what they need to get into like Target and Walmart. I didn't even address anything that has to do rename the November Guard. I think that's Canada. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so I didn't even talk about the leak listing. Supposedly there is a $45 Target exclusive vehicle. So people are already saying that it's going to be a Trouble Bubble and a Python Patrol. What the hell's Televiper. Now I'm not gonna lie. When I heard $45 vehicle and someone said a Trouble Bubble, I'm like, so help me God, if it comes with fucking Dr. Mindbender, we will never hear the end of it from that asshole Viper Island. Because he would be all over showing that video that he fucking made up. You got a lot of angry energy to get out, Payne, on Fridays, just so you know. Oh, Ryan says, Punk with Toys, Canada has the Moose Patrol. What did you forget? The Moose Patrol A. Just so you guys know, you've probably seen like the different skits where people make fun of Canadians and say A. You don't actually realize how much they say A. Like at the end of every sentence, A. Like, oh my God, were you from the States, eh? Then they ask you that. Like when we go over there skating, they'd ask, like, you from the States, eh? I'm from one of them. I'm not from all 50 of them. Oh, what state you from, eh? Dude, like, Michigan is seriously, like, where else would I be from? Like, we came over for the day. Is it Ryan or Michael Frenchie? Oh my gosh. Well, you don't have to buy them, Baldy. Like you cannot not buy it. Like that's the thing. Like again, I mean, I will bitch about Super 7. I bitch about Super 7 because of the quality that they get for the most part. But I don't have to buy them. But I am buying. No, I bitch because again, people don't realize what. I don't understand how people are still buying the crap. Anyway. Okay, so let's talk about what Thursday. So I already do a bi-weekly show on Thursday on Punks on Film with Matthew Matson, the moderator, where we just talk about an old movie. In 2 weeks, we'll be talking about Mad Max 2, which I got to order it and watch the movie. Just reminded myself. So I decided that on the opposite weeks, I will be sitting down at 10 p.m. Eastern, and I will be talking to somebody in the community. someone in my community, not the toy community, in my community, whether it be on Instagram, whether it be on in the chat here, whether it be just someone who comments a lot. There's a lot of people that aren't able to get in the live stream. They're busy, they're working, but I see them on Instagram. I communicate with them on Instagram, or they make a lot of comments on my Facebook, my Facebook pages. Not my Facebook pages. On my YouTube, they make comments on the YouTube channel. They'll shoot me messages on Instagram or whatever. Some on Facebook. So I want to talk to you guys. You guys are the ones that are supporting me. Again, the fact that people sit here for 3 hours and listen to me, I don't sometimes want to hear me talk for 3 fucking hours, but I do. I don't want to hear myself, shall I say. And the fact that you guys support me, I want to give back because I can't speak for everyone, but let's say like Lilith here, okay? I have seen Lilith 100 times on Jay's channel on Friday when we're watching stuff. I don't know who Lilith is, all right? And I always want to know, like, who are they? Like, why are they here? Like, what are they into? And so I assume other people feel the same way. Like, they want to know, like, hey, who is this person that I constantly chat with? I'll see him maybe on Instagram. I see him here in the live chat. I see him here on Geek Dead Life. And I see him over here on, Toy Anxiety or whatever, right? So my whole idea is to talk to someone, pick someone out, talk to them for 2 hours, just get to know them. The one thing, and if you want to be on the channel, if you want to be on the show, it's kind of already getting booked up right now. Hopefully I'm going to have Anthony on. I'm going to have Mr. Wonderful on in a month. He has a Kickstarter coming, so we're going to talk about that. The week that I'm going to Florida, I'm going to talk to Shark Eyes pre-recorded because he's in Australia. So it's not something that has to be live. I do like the idea of live because then people can ask questions. But this Thursday, I'm going to have Allison, not Mac, Troy. And we all see her. We see her here. We see her in other streams. I've seen her on Toy Habits. She kind of took over the show, to be honest. She totally took over the show. Really? Anyway, but she totally took over the show, and not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. She just has a presence. But anyway, I've seen her comments. She is brutal, especially when she's made comments about her ex-mother-in-law and stuff. It just makes me laugh. But I'm going to start off talking with her. We're getting 2 hours. We might go a little bit longer, but I try not to go too much longer because I do have to work in the morning. So that's where we're going to start off. The following week, I'm hoping we'll get Anthony on. Then after that, again, I'm going every other week, Mr. Wonderful. So I do have one opening right now, I believe. And then the week that I'm going to be gone, I'm going to do a pre-recorded show, hopefully with Shark Eyes. And him and I have already talked. I was on his show yesterday morning. So it's going to be interesting. Definitely interesting. Just trying to get to know people. That's the whole idea. Just give back to everyone. So anyway, I don't think there's too much more to say than that. Oh, so that's what I do want to say. So if you're interested, hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Gmail. The only thing that I do ask, I'm willing to do it. I'm okay with doing it pre-recorded. The only thing that I do have to ask is that you have to show your face. I can't talk to an avatar. If you're like Masterverse Toy Hunter, that's okay. That's who he is. It'd be like talking to Odorous Youngest from Guar. Of course, he's dead, so that'd be really odd. But it would be very, very interesting. So anyway, I am definitely interested in starting this. I'm going to have a lot of. It's going to be a pretty big learning curve, but again, it's not just talking toys. It's just getting to know people. Wade Allison says, are you getting the Miami Vice Valifig with your points? I am not. Yeah, like I kind of, yeah. I mean, I've already spent $320, and then I'm going to have to spend another $15 and $8 for shipping. No. I mean, I've addressed that one. I think, honestly, I think it's a good looking figure, and if it's made out of the same plastic that they're using, the same plastic that they did for blowback and everything, then awesome. Because blowback is seriously one of the most perfect figures. It's probably the best Valiverse figure they did. Trigger is still my favorite, but it is awesome. Just trying to read some of this stuff here. I doubt it. Like I said, it had to be people in the community. Again, like I love that people have other creators on, content creators. I love that people have people in the industry, whether it be Bobby Vela or Brian Flynn or Ace from Ramen Toys or old guy or like old people that were in industry, where they have the Marvel team or whatever. I think that's awesome. I love seeing that type of stuff. But again, my whole idea is to give back to the community. It's kind of like when I look at Payne's Toy Samples, what he's doing, where he just wants to sit down for a few hours, have a conversation with someone that collects toys and find out what it is that, what they like about toys, what brings, he has a whole thing, and it is something different. It is something that you're not getting from other content creators. And to be honest, it is very hard to come up with a new idea that hasn't been done. And I'm not saying no one's done this before. I'm sure there are. But it's the first time in my head that it's happened. Hold on. So yeah, Lula says, I like seeing different creators to see their passion, see what they're passionate about. I agree. But what I'm saying is, like, everyone, there's so many of those streams where people talk. I like to, I kind of want to get some of these people that I don't know per se, like I've never seen them. I want to get them out of their shell and see if I can get them to talk and everything. So again, it's just something. And again, this community has grown. We're still sitting on 48 people watching. I noticed we were up to, I think, 72 or 73. That's a big night. It makes me extremely happy. I know a lot has to do with the Haslab. I really blew through things. It's crazy. Like, I get to a point where I'm thinking, wow, hell, have I made it this, got through everything so quickly. Am I going to be able to talk for another hour? And then here it is, just after 3 hours, and I'm still just going on and on all by myself. Which again, I could sit here and talk and talk and talk. But I love seeing all the new people. And Lilith, I'm so glad that you finally decided. I mean, it's great to know that you had seen the channel before. It's great to see you starting to interact. It's awesome. It is awesome just to get new people in here. And again, I've seen you before, so it's cool, and it's great that I'm seeing the same people that were here in the beginning. That truly means a lot to me. That means that people haven't gotten too aggravated with me. Frogman giveaway. Are you talking about my the, the Frogger? What was it? What the hell's the name of it? I have one. Frogmonger. Frogmonger. I don't know, Bastion. No such thing as a bad idea. No such thing as a new idea. Okay. I don't know if that's absolutely true. I thought it said no such thing as a bad idea. I don't know, man. There's been a lot of bad ideas out there. All right, so I am gonna get going because it is 3 hours. I was hoping that the Haslab would fund during the show, and then we could say that it was all because of what we did. But I'm gonna say that in the next minute or so that I sign off, it's not gonna hit the 1,400 that it needs. Although at 8,600 in just the first day, I think it's pretty good. Like I said, I don't think it's going to have any issues hitting the 19,000 mark. But I think with no early bird, I don't think there's that drive just to get there. Fuller's Figures. You are one that I eventually want to have on my Thursday show. And again, probably have to be pre-recorded. And I'm okay with some of the pre-recorded stuff. It means I won't have to stress out about doing it live. All right, so anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Catch me this Thursday, 10 o'clock, with Allison of Troy. She will be the star of the show. You guys can see her pretty little face, hear her pretty little voice, and she'll probably yell at me about something. But you're going to find out about her. All kinds of things about her. That is for sure. And then catch me on Payne's Toy Samples this Friday, 9:30. He's going to sit down. He's going to try and break me like any other counselor or psychologist never has been able to. He's going to see if he can make me cry. Very, very difficult. But 9:35, link to his channel is in there. Once he has it up, I will put a link to it. So if you're still watching 3 hours later, and 53 of you are, and thank every single one of you. Awesome. Have a wonderful night. I really am going to get out of here. And you know what? I have to mention, before I leave, what do you guys think of the intro? I was just kind of messing around, trying to figure out something so I could wait. If anyone was here during the beginning, did you guys like the intro? Did you like when I just would come in and just be me? What are you guys' thoughts on that? I hate this. I lost my comments. I can't see if anyone's commenting. Here we are. Thank you, usual Mike. It's great to see you. Like I said, I know you have a big following. Lilith says she liked the intro. All right. Well, I'm gonna play it again as I leave. Again, I do everything on my iPhone because I'm just a simple little guy. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you guys, and we'll see you all again on Thursday.